Just getting things underway as we finally get to figure out who will be the next stars in the NPL. Hi everyone, I'm Daniel Digon Gonzalez, and joining me straight out of retirement home and then back into action, it's Michael Hypoc Robbins. How's it going, Hypoc?
Yeah, doing good. Really happy to be here. Excited to get my teeth into Phase 2 of the Contenders. We've got a lot on our plate, a lot of roster changes. It's going to be exciting today.
Yeah, we definitely do. I'm excited to get you on this side, casting yet again, not normally known for, but now we're going to get you right on into it. We're going to use that big brain to the fullest of its potential. Let's take a look at what these teams will be playing for and some of the rules and regulations with the overview of the NPLC. So, looks pretty familiar if you follow along with the NPL. Maps 1 and 4 will be Erangel. Number 2 and 3 will be Miramar, first-person perspective, of course. These teams will be playing from May 7th through June 11th.
Yep, and no surprises with the point structure here. We're using the same super scale as the NPL, so starting off with 10 points for a win, scaling all the way down for 1 point for 7th and 8th, and obviously 1 point per kill.
That's right, it'll be 4 total weeks with 4 rounds per day, and at the end of that, the top 10 teams from the NPL will have their NPLC will have their opportunity to play against the bottom 6 teams in the relegation matches for the NPL, and the bottom 6 teams from the NPLC will be playing in the relegation matches against the top 10 teams from the NPL Open. So, if you haven't started already, NPL Open underway, get yourself a squad, and you might be finding yourself here at the NPLC. And one of the great things about the NPLC are just like the squads that are here and the opportunity that every team has to move up or move down. And speaking of teams that have moved up and moved down, we've got ourselves some new faces. Now, we have 3 teams that have moved down from the NPL to NPLC this season as we take a look at the squads all in the on the board as well. It'll be Noble, Vicious, and former Lazarus, now Comets, playing here in the NPLC, as well as the teams that promoted up from the NPL Open. It's Almost, God Squad, and Ripe Army. So some new faces, but I wanted to know, Hypoc, in your opinion, what is a team that we probably should be looking out for?
I mean, with all the roster changes that have gone around, for me, the team to watch is Sonics. We've got Tickleton coming over from Elevate, Wooly coming from Simplicity, Keenan coming from Overconfident, and Tony V remaining from the previous roster. This, for me, is, this is the player one esports of the Phase 2 contenders for me. This is going to be the one we're going to be looking for to promote up to NPL. So really exciting roster, some talented players on there. It's going to be good to see what they can put together.
Yeah, always good to see Noble as well, a fan favorite squad.
The return of Noble, hopefully.
Yeah. EDAC and Boom, as well as, with roster changes and players moving, former NPL players possibly now playing down here. You highlighted Wooly from Simplicity, now finding himself on Sonics. I'm excited to see Mini Fridge finding himself a home over at Elevate. Mini Fridge, shout outs, buddy. Time to prove yourself, bud.
Yeah, so, I mean, actually, Elevate is another team to watch. They've had a roster rework. We've got Godku, Mini Fridge. Those are definitely 2 big names to watch. We've also got Grizzly and Steedy BB coming in for Elevate. So that again is another roster we're kind of watching to see them go to the relegations. Obviously, hopefully, go to the promotion to NPL.
Yeah, and it's not like these guys promote and then nothing happens. Just look at week 1 of the NPL. We had a couple of contenders teams there right in the thick of things at 7th and 8th with Player One Esports and Rumblers, formerly Mustache Dave. These teams have firepower, and I think there's a spot here in the whole PUBG Pro ecosystem where they can refine their competitive play here in the NPLC.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to see 2 teams promote up and finish, middle of the pack with NPL teams. And actually in the games, it's good to see those teams actually go, they can hang 4v4 with some of the best teams in the NPL. So really good showing from them in the first week. That's the kind of talent we want to see coming out of contenders.
Right. So starting things off, you obviously got to play in the NPL last season and got used to this kind of rotation. We start off with Erangel, the classic. Are teams really worried about what their strategy is from map 1 to map 4, or is this something that they're just like, hey, let's just do what we know and get the first game under our belts?
Everybody likes starting out on Erangel. It's the home ground in PUBG. Obviously, people know it like the back of their hands. The one interesting thing is going to be to watch in these games with these roster shuffles, whether or not we have any switch ups in drop spots. Sure. This first game in particular is going to be one that's really exciting to watch.
All right, let's get things underway. NPLC Week 1, Round 1, starting off with the Noble Boys. Boom, EDAC, Fudge, and new addition Soup. let's see where they end up dropping. Good old north to south here, a little bit heading towards the east, but look at how many people drop very early. And we'll see if we're going to have some milli-circles to start off. We have a couple teams looking like they definitely want that.
Yeah, one interesting thing to note here, it looks like we've got 3 teams actually coming to the military island. I'm not sure if that's a bad plane for their drop. We obviously have THC heading over to Novo. It looks like we've got God Squad, which I think actually, knowing Lil Prodigy for as long as I have, that's their territory. They are military boys. And we also have Yellow Pike Gaming dropping over towards the West Bridge.
So a couple of vets here dropping on in and going to take control of the bridge. If they decide to cross, does THC, they'll run into Zenith Esports, Kendo, and looks like Patron, and some of those guys will be bridge camping, and we'll get to see where this circle ends up dropping out. But as usual, early game, you want to find yourself a vehicle and be very mobile. Although Yellow Pike did drop around the western side bridge, it does look like they're going to head on over to the main island, and there it is. It will include some of the military base, but it's a southeast circle and a lot of water in it.
Yeah, we're actually looking good for VG and Zen right now. That's the circle you want to see coming out in match 1 of Contenders Phase. I mean, we're not going to see too much rotating in the first one. Pretty much every single team is inside the circle, so we're not going to see too much action in terms of transitioning. It's going to be interesting to see where teams move to if they're going to try and centralize early, because, like I said, there's not going to be too many rotation kills to pick up.
Yeah, it was Erangel Airlines booking it with the Circle partnership. It was a 1-for-1, right? A lot of times the plane goes one way, Circle goes elsewhere, not in this one. So a lot of teams. Do you think that this leads to like more of a stale type early game because teams are so comfortable where they're at?
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's, I mean, other than Shook, who we can see actually, they've dropped for vehicles and they're heading all the way to 70. That's probably going to be the only team we're going to see transition into the next circle. Teams like Sonics, Elevate, they might try and look for some space up on Potato, so you might get some early game action there, but people are going to be pretty comfortable here. We shouldn't see people, desperation diving to get something in the first circle. It's going to be a pretty slow start.
Yeah, definitely a slow start here. And, something that actually took a while to develop as well were the rosters. Some teams waiting as late as like a couple hours ago to make their social media announcement. Hey, look, these are the guys that we signed. So we'll be following along not only with teams that we've met before, but also these new teams and these new storylines that will develop throughout. And I'm enjoying the fact that it does look like a couple teams will be venturing out. So not only Shook, Low Key is moving outside the circle as well. But as you said, most teams will be very comfortable where they started, maybe sending one person to scout out, get some information, then rotate back. So I expect this to be a relatively slow circle. What do you think are the comms like? If you have a circle like this, you drop over in Mill to Power, what are comms like? Because it is just like, hey, we're just going to chill, loot up as much as we can, and be forced out of the circle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the teams around Mill to Power, obviously you got Helicline as well. That's probably pretty typical of their drop spot. Obviously, you've got Low Key that have moved a bit further out. You've got Lego Uego, which have actually transitioned all the way to Primorsk. Yeah. It looks like there was a bit of tension around the West Bridge with Yellow Pike obviously moving north side. I mean, at this point, it's obviously just about picking a good route into the first circle. Helicline should have identified they have as much space as they have. So it's going to be pretty calm. Things could get a bit spicy around school. As you can see, we've got Elevate and Trifecta obviously in pretty close proximity. If Trifecta try and make a move, towards the hacker compound or the new compound, just slightly southeast of where they are now, things could liven up a bit, but I think people are going to be pretty aware of what's going on around them.
So it's week 1, round 1. Do you think that these teams have any jitters coming into it? It is phase 2, and most of these teams that we're talking about, except 3 of them, have been playing in the NPL or NPLC structures. Finna actually taking a bunch of fire right now and forced to get the heck out of Dodge right there. 37 health left.
Yeah, this is actually, this is where we'd expect teams to kind of feel each other out. If they're not used to these drop spots, it looks like Team Almost were actually pushing east towards the north side of Farm there, which is where Vicious have chosen to drop. But lucky to get away there, and obviously for Team Almost, that's going to be creating a bit of space for them.
Yeah, Helicline Gaming also making a rotation as they're getting closer and closer to Vicious Gaming. Fozu will be on the front line of that, as Kaisuko as well, kind of peeking over the area. And it did seem like there weren't going to be a lot of rotations. Everyone was fine, but it does seem like everyone's a little bit more active than usual.
Yeah, we can actually see on the map that some teams here are actually trying to get closer to, I guess, dead
There's a lot of
center here.
teams kind of bumping up right now.
We've actually, yeah, I called this one pretty poorly, actually. It looks like we've got 5 or 6 teams looking like they want to get hold of center and solidify themselves a position. You can see literally outside of shelter in this area, the north of farm, we actually got Halakline actually picking up a kill onto Elevate.
Yeah.
Elevate transitioning all the way from school, coming southeast towards this. It looks like Halakline had just got set up in front of them. That's a lucky rotation kill, if I'm honest. I don't know if Elevate had scouted that correctly, but it is pretty risky pulling up to that hill at this point in the game.
Yeah, and all the teams now kind of hearing the gunshots, realizing, hey, there's more than just us here. There's 5 teams in that area, Almost, Vicious, Elevate, Halakline, Zenith, the Happy Campers close by. So a lot of action possibly early on in this first circle as we follow along with Tickleton, one of the guys that you highlighted earlier, and Elevate just kind of getting beaten up by a bunch of teams right now. They have nowhere to go.
Yeah, one thing to note, the teams transitioning from the military base are obviously driving right into the hot pot here. We've got maybe 4 or 5 teams that are going to be in a position to obviously mess with God Squad's rotation. It looks like they're actually settling for the observatory down on the military island. Obviously, we can see Elevate here getting set up after losing that player pretty early on. I think they're going to be a bit more cautious now around scouting. It looks like they're going to try and take the watchtower down here. Not a great position to take in the first circle because it's going to be difficult for them to keep their cars. People are going to have open shots on them. If they can identify they have some space towards farm, I don't know if this is the wisest move ever because they're moving south closer to the water, and obviously we know that come circle 3 it's going to be popping away. But I think at this point what's important for Elevate is to kind of reset, make sure they're keeping their vehicles, and actually be scouting the compounds around them.
Yeah, right now God Squad is also in a tough position because they're the last team stuck on the island, and Happy Campers are living up to their name. Anyone coming over that bridge would be difficult to work with. Little Prodigy and Mortify having some issues right now crossing the bridge, and it would be very difficult to get the rest of the team on over. As there it is, you could see Little Prodigy just kind of using the ridge there to stay safe, but it does look like the Happy Campers have moved a little bit further away. Gas station will be under control of God Squad. Maybe the rest of the team can get over.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to scout towards Sharkfin here. Any of these compounds along the south coast, the likelihood of the circle actually ending up close to here is very minimal. They want to be looking for something towards farm, but as you can see, there's just a number of teams littered in front of them. Happy Campers actually moving towards the double balcony buildings just north of them. So I'm not sure what God Squad's best choice is here, because obviously if they head towards military, they're just going to end up running into another 2 or 3 teams. So we could see God Squad actually take a crash in the second circle and see if they want to take a compound.
Yeah, and right now we're waiting for this circle to close up here. Should be finishing up, there it is, in 30-ish seconds, and they would be like smack dab in the middle of this first circle, so it gives them a little bit of mobility if it does end up bouncing south. But right now, Little Prodigy is taking some shots at the Happy Campers. Happy Campers, again, just happy to camp in their house right there, no pun intended, and just wait for things to slow down as Trifecta getting a knock there on Shook. VZ getting knocked.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing now, with the circle close as it is, the most important thing for teams now is to not get knocked. If anybody gets knocked now, it's going to eat into their rotation time. Obviously, first and second circle, when you want to be moving quickest, it's when you want to decide, how are we going to play these next circles. And actually, Sonic's managed to get the confirm onto VZ there. So, things really shaping up on the top of that hill. As you can see with this shift, probably the worst thing we can see because we have all of the teams actually congested towards the east side of the circle. And you can see all the space there. I mean, Yellow Pike Gaming, if they can identify these compounds are open, maybe if they want to move a bit further towards Potato, but we definitely want to see Shook, Trifecta, and Sonics make a move back west here and get themselves a nice compound.
Yeah, I'm loving the way that the circle's working here in our game 1, week 1, match 1 here, just because everyone's about to fight, and you got to earn it within the second circle right now as Little Prodigy right here over the wall in a bit of gunfight, turns the corner. Not able to land his shots and is giving away his position now, but over the wall, maybe quite hasn't. Whoa! Looking like a Lazarus woe. Not exactly the type of rotation he wanted. He falls early and God Squad on the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's gone on here with Comet's vehicle situation because it looks like they've just been caught out here. I mean, Woe was just crouched next to the building here and God Squad have just pulled up.
Yeah, not much for the rest of Comets to do. Again, Comets, half of old Lazarus with both Woe and Sub-Zero on that roster.
It's actually looking like Prodigy's going to look to get aggressive here. Snowbird caught out in the open. He's on the beach without a vehicle. The rest of his team look like they've transitioned further west. Actually going to throw the nade up here. This is looking good for Prodigy if he can land this.
There's a nade. Does not land, but very, very close. So Snowbird knows he's been spotted.
Yeah, I want to see one of God Squad actually get a secondary angle here from a bit further south, but Snowbird's not got anywhere to go. We've got Mortifier scoping over as well. Prodigy actually maybe getting caught out here.
Yeah, a lot of hopping there, and I think he thought Mortified had his back. Did not. Now he's forced to run away, and he has a little bit of foliage there behind him. He should be fine.
Yeah, and what's going to be interesting here is how many teams actually end up fighting here. We saw the transition earlier from Elevate. That now obviously not paying off for them. If they stayed up on their spot on the hill with the Wizard Tower, they would have been in a much better position. Right now, it's looking like we're going to have teams kind of hunker down and just wait for this next circle to ride out. But if this shifts west again, it's going to be really interesting to see what decision teams make.
Yeah, it's getting crowded very, very quickly. Just in the second circle here, Roth now taking a peek at the Happy Campers, Zenith and THC, two returning teams here looking to stake their claim early in the season.
Yeah, and we do see a Triggs actually get the knock onto Snowbird, so that's more than likely going to end up being a confirmed kill just due to the fact Snowbird was so far away on his own. Bit of a shame. Again, we're 11 minutes into the game now, nearly 12, and we've still got a high player count up here. Actually, wow, okay, Zenith, yeah, making the decision to push into this building with THC. Obviously, THC been doing what they do best and just chilling, but Charity picking up a pretty free kill there.
Whoa!
And actually, Roth managed to get the trade down with the nade, so it looks like Zen are going to come up and take control of this building. Not sure what the communication was there because it looks like Charity's actually been left on his own here, and THC have actually moved and prioritized control of the flat top.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that was a positive thing there for THC, realizing, hey, we're separated. You're probably going to die. Able to go 1-for-1 in what was a de facto 4v1. It did look like Doom was there trying to give some support, but would not be able to. Zenith able to pick up one kill in that battle. And the circle now popping. It is even closer towards the middle, so everyone is now condensed, and we finally have got some teams outside.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is exactly what I was talking about. As you can see, just off to the east of this circle, everybody east and south of Elevate now are going to have to make some pretty crazy transitions. I'm not sure which pathing they're going to choose on, but it looks like we're going to have a bit of a bloody mess on this side of the circle.
Oh yeah, the southeast circle is... People are going to have to earn their spot here, and a lot of teams will not be able to work their way through, as Matthew, part of the new member of Comets, will be watching all these vehicles drive on by the God Squad guys that took down their teammate. Sub-Zero taking some pot shots at him, not able to land too much. Mortify will be walking himself out there. The silent sniper not going to quite connect. One more vehicle crossing. Yeah, he's going to take another shot at it.
I like this move from God Squad, though. They've taken the initiative to move early. They're not going to get caught up with other teams rotating around them. I'm not sure if they were able to scout up onto the cliff here, but it looks like they're going to take it for free. And actually, this position here in this circle is a good spot, but we know that obviously it's going to bounce away from water. So I'm not sure if they're going to settle for this right now, as we do actually see Zenith taking down another member of THC. I was watching Edak actually with nerves of steel here, actually. Oh. He's waiting for this knock. Doesn't actually connect with that canine shot, but Trifecta, in a pretty decent spot. They're going to have some vision of things west of them. Really not actually seeing too many kills in rotation. We do see Halakline pick up Biznatch in rotation, I have to assume. And actually, you can see on the northeast side of the circle, if we flip up to the map right now, we've got a lot of teams transitioning around this side, and there just isn't much space for teams to get into this circle on that side.
There's not, and during that whole skirmish, our first team has been knocked out. It was the Happy Campers, no longer there. Edak able to get the kill earlier after following along with him, but now we're with Duck. Duck and the rest of Halakline Gaming have to make the run for it and get into the circle, and it's going to be quite a run for them. They were distracted by Ripe Army, and the vehicle just kind of driving all the way around in the blue circle, and will be eventually reconvening with his teammates.
I mean, this should be interesting to watch. If we can flick back over to Halakline, because it looks like they're going to try and make this foot transition. And actually, as you can see, VG are actually lined up in front of them. So we could have a fight here on the edge of the blue. Halakline, if they know that VG are there, are going to have the element of surprise. But if VG are able to hold down their edge of blue here, It's going to be interesting. Obviously now Halakline with the pressure of the blue on them, they're going to be tanking damage here. But it looks like VG are actually out in the open to contest this. Gunner does get knocked to the blue. It's going to be interesting to see if we can get an opening pick onto VG here. But it looks like Halakline are in trouble.
Yeah, good shots by Kaisuko. Able to connect, but not knock anyone down. Let's look from VG's side. Reno taking care of business and holding the edge as Ripe Army has now been the second team eliminated. Not the start that they wanted from the formerly NPL Open squad. And you can see Fozu as well, just playing in this aggressive forward position behind a rock and just being the gatekeeper here against Halakline.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see the circle exactly as expected. Does centralize, shifts away from the water. So it looks like the top of this hill is actually going to be, where we're going to see most of the action.
So here in this situation, VG focused, the circle is right behind them, so they don't have a long way to go. What can Halakline do here in this situation?
I mean, Halakline have to make moves to the north. It's not viable for them to move back to the south. The problem being, obviously, we still have 2 or 3 other teams floating around on that side of the circle, so they need to pick a fight and they need to take it. Obviously, they're down to 3 players now, as we do see actually Comets. It looks like they're defending a crash from the God Squad. The God Squad, obviously, the team we saw transition up to the cliff top, but Comets down to 2 players. Let's see if they can defend this crash here. As obviously, God Squad already inside the building. We have Mortify on the outside here. Looks like actually Matthew's going to be able to get this knock on to Mortify. Huge opening knock there. If he can stay alive on the edge here and his teammate can support him, this could actually be... Oh, no, actually, Matthew does get knocked. Sub-Zero trading out as well, getting a knock onto Danny.
Yeah, it's 2 versus 1, and so far the squad of 2 of Comets have done a good job. Triggs holding the window. Sub-Zero able to get Triggs now, and so now a 1v1. What started out a 2v1, not going to work out. And Comets, that was a great fight there, but God Squad taking care of business and haven't lost anyone in the process.
Yeah, actually, it looks like Zenith have come to try and third party this crash here, but, God Squad going, 2 for 1 against Comet there. Interesting. Prodigy with the cheeky little jump shot to finish that fight off. Actually, elsewhere, unfortunately, we do see Halakline. It looks like they tried to make a move to the north, but like I said, we had Noble, Trifecta, and Shook up there. Let's get back to the action here with Zenith, though, because God Squad are actually going to manage to get these reses off, and I'm not sure if Zenith are going to identify that, they're low, they're down to 3 players, and whether or not it's looking like Roth actually wants to push up on this.
Yeah, he's playing a little bit aggressive. Will be looking for the nade to land. Takes a window. It's the wrong one. Triggs is on the right window, but has been spotted. Couple shots firing down onto Roth. He's using the wall as a barrier. No one peeking, but Prodigy getting his teammate above his head. Honey Badger does go down. So now what turned out to be a 3v3 now into a 2v3, but Roth still getting aggressive, pushing into the house.
Yeah, God Squad are actually going to be able to get this res off upstairs. I mean, if they want to force the issue, now's the time to do it, because they have the benefit of having 2 players low. It looks like they're going to try and clear ground floor and look to contest the top floor.
Here we go. Shots ringing true. Zenith not going to pick up a kill yet. Oh, something pinging off the pan. Roth able to knock one more, but his back is turned to the final member. But they will pick up 2 kills right there. Final member of God Squad, I think, jumped out of the house and will be playing it slow. No, he holds the corner, falls down. Oh, no.
Yeah, actually, the last member of God Squad did make it into the ground floor. Triggs here going to pick up a knock onto Roth. And actually, yeah, Kendo straight there for the trade. Really happy, actually, that Zenith managed to trade that out. It looked like they were going to challenge 1 by 1.
Yeah, that was a fantastic call. That was the time to get aggressive while they were rezzing the teammate. And then again, it was a 2v3. Good push there by Zenith, and they keep both members alive as we close closer and closer to the final circle. 10 teams alive, so we said goodbye to a couple more teams. Let's take stock of who's still up. Obviously, VG, as we follow along with them. Shook going to be losing one of their members. Later, see you later. He falls. And the circle just popping as well. Just more centralized circle after that first southeast one. Now things just keep getting smaller and smaller in the middle. And that's benefiting right now Yellow Pike Gaming and Sonics, I believe, are the 2 teams that are smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, actually, we're looking as if these teams that are congested up on the north side are going to end up getting into a battle here. I'm not sure what Trifecta's plan is, but if they hear these fights coming off, they should be looking to push forward and third party this, because it's their only way into the circle. Obviously, these 3 teams can't share that space up on the dirt road, so we're going to see this pop off in the next 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, Finna continuing to siege this little shack here. Protege and Mystery trying to pull a tricky one. Mystery on the outside, Protege on the inside. But VG with 4 members, all 4 members still up, looking to make a move on this house while the circle is starting to come on in.
Yeah, I mean, the problem for all 3 of these teams here is Sonics have managed to get themselves probably the best compound in the circle right now. It's that compound with the the tier 3 building and obviously the 2-story red. As actually we see Fozu pushing up, actually getting the knock onto Protege here. This battle over the shack. Mystery, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pull off some magic here, but VG are still 4 strong. Mystery has it all to work for right now.
Yeah, Vicious Gaming staking claim to the better P name. It's Fozu over Protege. And Vicious Gaming getting themselves a couple more kills as we see now Loki firing some shots uphill against Trifecta. As you said, Sonic's holding safe right in the middle of the map. You see also...
we have Elevate, and we also have Team Almost down on the east side here, down in the Snake compound. They're going to be chilling. We should see a fight pop off with them at some point, but right now there's no pressure to move anywhere. There's not a lot of terrain to play to west of where these guys are set up, so whether or not we see some foot pushes onto the compound and see a fight break out before the circle pops, that's going to be interesting to watch.
Yellow Pike was able to actually get the crate, one hog, able to pick up whatever was in that crate. That'll be helpful as this zone gets smaller and smaller. We follow along with Lego Urego. They're on the southern side. I can give him a little bit southwest. The southern side as he's taking some long-range shots here and landing on the Zenith boys that had such a long trip here.
Actually gets stolen from one of the Team Almost players, Roth. And yet Kendo going down as well. So that's Zenith going out in 9th. I mean, they didn't have much to play to there from the compound that they fought God Squad at. Obviously, that hill, there's not too much cover underneath either of the compounds, but, you know, great awareness from Lego Urego to try and pick up those kills.
Yeah, with this circle continuing to get smaller and smaller, not a lot of physical terrain here, or not a lot of compounds. It'll be just the physical terrain of the map as we get smaller. Maybe some shacks here, but again, teams that are in compounds right now probably won't be able to hold it as much. Right now, the team that has the best coverage is Team Almost, as you saw them get that last couple of knocks on Zenith. And here it is, again, just circle smaller right in the middle. No more compounds after this.
Yeah, absolutely. We just see Sonics get the God Shrink right now. Obviously, that compound at the top of the hill, it's one of the best ones for this final ending because you just end up having so much freedom. Obviously, Trifecta in a really rough spot, but they do manage to pick up a knock onto Wooly. That's going to be interesting if they try and capitalize on that, because they don't really have a move after this.
Yeah, AWM. That was picked up earlier. I don't remember seeing that one picked up. I guess we haven't followed along with Trifecta too much. But this squad obviously returning. And this was a team in the NPLC promotion, I believe, that had a fantastic opportunity to get on up and barely missed out. And they're looking to continue their momentum from Phase 1 into Phase 2. They're making that rotation on foot right on by Sonics.
Yeah, and actually we see VG just sending it in cars here. Actually, they're just trying to get something inside the circle. Looks like Sonics are perfectly aware, and they might be able to pick up these other 2 players on VG. Getting the knock onto Fozu, getting the confirm. Great shots from Tony V there, but Reno kind of, you know, a bit stuck out in the open air. Looks like we've got Elevate looking to mess with that as well. Getting shot in the back by a Team Almost, so I'm not sure how this is going to play out for Elevate here.
Poor Reno, you called it. Now Team Trifecta as well with the big rotation on foot on the northern side, catching out Reno, and there he goes. He falls. It'll be not too long for this world. And Godku now catching out Finna, so only one member left of... Nope, no one left for Vicious Gaming. And down they go. You said they sent it, and they sent it right onto the gray screen. But now Sonics has the big rotation of Trifecta in their eyes, and everyone getting picked off. It's just spray, and spray gets sprayed down. Tony V and Keenan taking care of business there, and Sonics cashing in on that final compound in the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. Sonics should be able to identify the elevator down here. I'm not sure if they kept track of the kill feed from early game, but they should be able to identify who's left on the east side of the circle. I'm not sure how aware they are of Almost, but it looks like Team Almost are going to try and clear their edge. As you can just see here, Sonics now, with the open sight lines, they're going to be able to try and capitalize on, you know, creating themselves some space. Low-key actually making a push up the hill. It looks like they're going to try and contest this compound.
Yeah, so Sonic's getting out of the house to get aggressive on Loki. Loki has one knocked, and it's stolen away by Lego Urego. All the way across the map, Maradona is able to pick that one up. Chubba Bubba ending up falling there. And so the circle will continue to push on in. Sonics retreat back into the safety of the house. Maradona is just taking these long-range shots now outside the circle and hitting Loki. And so Loki in a very tough spot as they're getting pinched. All the while, Team Almost as well following along and taking shots here at Elevate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sonic's, you know, great way to reset the fight there. Obviously, slow things down. It looks like they've pushed back out to try and contest this push from Loki. Keenan actually managed to pick up the confirm onto Smithy, so I'm not sure the numbers up on the top side of the map there, but it looks like Sonics are going to be able to hold on and keep 4 alive.
There it is. There's your map. So the compounds won't be a factor here in this Phase 7 circle, or Phase 8 circle, but man, it paid dividends early on for Sonics. Is now Evasion taking some shots here, and almost one of our new teams promoted up. The team doing the best so far to the teams promoting up, making a statement early as One Hog now taking his shots, and only 5 teams left. The circle getting very hectic, and it's all outside after this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I actually really like that defense from Sonics there. They are going to look to try and clean up this solo. They do see Pax die to the blue, so they know that they haven't gone for the res on that. They should be able to identify, yeah, as you can see this, they're just going to swarm around Fignaldo, wondering if he's going to try and get a quick flush. Tony V absolutely dancing with death right now.
Oh, that's why we're in Vegas. He's such a good poker player. Oh, just watch it. Yep, just watch it.
He only wants to shoot here if he can get the confirm.
There it is. He gets the confirm. Will he get 2? No, of course not. But good play there by Figs to get Tickleton down. Keenan able to get the counter kill. And that is Loki going out in 5th place. A good start here by Loki Esports.
Yeah, low kill count for them, but managed to stay up as long as they did. It's a shame their push onto the compound wasn't successful, but like I said, Sonics made a really good attempt to defend that. We do actually have Lego Your Ego pushing in on Yellow Pike here. Obviously, they're building down on the south side of the circle.
The 2 yellow teams taking it on each other right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're right next to each other, one inside, one outside.
It looks like we've actually got Innate playing McCoy in the bathroom here, so let's see if he's going to be able to hold this building down. He does have I Love Gwen Stacy on the outside, holding the angle so they can't get pushed.
Ooh, he's getting shot at though.
And actually, yeah, Sonic's pushing all the way out. Yeah, Wooly getting the knock onto Gwen Stacy there. And actually, yeah, Zinite getting the knock onto Innate as well. So 2 of Yellow Pike Gaming down. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to play for these reses because One Hog is elsewhere in the shack.
Yeah, I don't think One Hog is going to go help out his buddies. And I was about to say, yeah, he had Gwen Stacy helping, but outside this late with the circle this small seemed very, very dangerous, and the knock was inevitable. Tony V getting the knock, probably not getting the kill. The kill probably will head on over to, actually, yeah, it'll head on over to Lego Your Ego. Innate picking that one up. And so One Hog, the only one left up for YPG. And so with that, let's things slow down just a bit. Teams will now figure out what the next best move is as the circle continually getting smaller just in the center. And this circle isn't even that much of a change, but it is forcing people out of corners of the house, just like a mime right here for Almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having Sonics in the position they are right now, they obviously have done really well to keep 3 up. Unfortunately, they lost one of their members, but you can see them becoming really active on the map now, utilizing that high ground. They've defended it well. I'm not sure if they're going to have any space to play the top side, so I'd like to see them try and swing north to clear out Team Almost. But obviously the sight lines from down south there, as you can see, Wooly pinned behind this tree, going to get his car disabled. Tony V, I'm not sure what the utility's like, but maybe try and get some smokes down for Wooly, as you can see that pop off there.
Would you use the vehicle this late, though?
I mean, as you can see here, Tony's going to try and fortify and get that to a position that he can play behind it, so that when the other players have to leave this building, they're going to be in the open. They have no cover. So, I mean, you can see all this utility popping off here. Looks like we're going to get Lego Your Ego pushed towards One Hog here at the shack.
Yeah, you know what else can be used as good terrain? The crate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is I not going to look, see if anything's in there, realize nothing's in there, and just use it for cover? Both guys, 2 guys, 1 crate. Going to be very difficult here for Lego Your Ego to stay safe. Yellow Pike Gaming, though, One Hog just going to chill in the shack and wait for everything else to happen around him. Almost as soon as they find him, would be able to take shots. It does look like there's a little bit of a ridge keeping him safe. Currently, our Lego Your Ego, but Almost now have spotted Sonics, and maybe being quiet will keep him up for a little bit longer.
Well, Sonic's actually taken a big swing down to the south there. They've identified that Lego Your Ego have had to move out. Final circle does pop. Obviously, the team actually closest right now is Almost, but Sonics, if they can clear out the south side, they're going to have a really good opportunity to play into the center of the circle.
Ooh, Lego Your Ego taking down Mime, so Mime will be revived here. Final circle, as you said, has popped. And surprisingly, One Hog is in a pretty good spot right now. It isn't the exact center, but if he plays it slow, able to met up, he might be able to surprise a team or two, as well as get a couple more position points. But yeah, Lego Your Ego have done a good job fighting off Almost in that on the uphill battle. But from both sides, Lego Your Ego are going to have to play against the elevation of both these teams. And there they go. They run early into the shed. They're good. One Hog needs to be ready.
Yeah, he's popping flashes out here. I like this play from One Hog. He's literally just waiting for these guys to die. That's all he needs to do.
He's been spotted.
If he can pick up a constellation kill, it's going to be great. Sonic's actually defending One Hog right now in this shack. I don't think Sonic's actually know that One Hog's in here. It looks like they are going to blow the door off, so they're going to know soon enough.
You know, I'm surprised. You know, he did shoot a couple, but it might just be Lego Your Ego, the only team that knows he's in here. The circle has come on in, and it will be ticking down in just a bit. Wooly able to get the kill on Zynite, and you can see how much it's hurting. Here he goes. He's able to get out and get one position point here.
Oh.
He's fighting back, able to knock Wooly as well. And so OneHog has done a good job going to heal up, keep himself safe. 3 teams still left. And Sonics, it's only 2 still alive here. For them, OneHog might be making a huge play here in game 1.
Oh, he's going to see the second play here. Actually, unfortunate there from OneHog. He got a really nice knock onto Wooly. Obviously, actually, yeah, Tony V goes down as well. So actually, almost looking like they could clutch this game up. It's a 2v1 now with Keenan.
Yeah, Tony V able to clean up Keenan now. It should be relatively easy. Maybe it is just 1v. Actually, it's 1v2 here. So, Yugal.
He does hit a nice shot onto Yugo up there. Tanaka holding onto this tree. We just need to see somebody peek here. Keenan in a clutch position now. Let's see if he can close this out.
Yeah, Keenan not able to do it, and almost in their first game in the NPLC, take care of business. Team 1 on your screen, but it's the #1 team in your hearts. Almost. What a good way to go on in. A 9-kill victory for them. Congratulations to these guys, you know, showing up in their first game, but it was definitely Sonics as well getting a fantastic couple of circles after holding that compound, and then a secret agent OneHog doing a good job in the shed and able to pick up a couple of extra points there.
Absolutely, yeah. Great showing from Sonics. Managed to rack up a lot of kills. We've got 5 on Tony V, 5 on Keenan, 3 onto Wooly, and then 1 on Tiggleton, and I like the way they control their zone. Unfortunate that, you know, OneHog was able to make a clutch play, get the knock onto Wooly. Things kind of went downhill then from there on for Sonics, but well played from Almost. Honestly, they bided their time. You know, they swept round to the south, came back and took the fight, ended up winning it.
How about these circles? Like, it started off very much in that southeastern region, then after that, everything was just smack dab in the middle. So I think if any team gambled early, it was pretty interesting that there were no big shifts. It was just where the teams were and they had to move to it.
Yeah, absolutely. With that first circle, like we said, wasn't expecting to see too much, you know, transitional kills, but as soon as that hard shift came to the west, pretty much after that, it was fairly centralized. So the teams that, you know, took the initiative to move early, it paid off for them. Obviously, we saw Sonics move when they did, and obviously they managed to get to a compound that ended up being right in the circle until the end game.
Yeah, so great stuff. And I love the fact that, I'm interested in what you think about this. Do you think there was so much aggression, it was early game nerves, it's new phase, new season, new rosters, and people just wanted to get things going and maybe treat it a little bit like a scrim? It seemed very active.
I mean, it's interesting to watch. Obviously, the first game, people are still feeling each other out. Whether or not there is any nerves, for, you know, we want to play passive, we want to play, you know, safe up until Miramar comes,
right.
But you know, definitely happy to see these guys going to Miramar.
Yeah, so here we go. So congratulations to Almost getting the first victory in the NPLC Phase 2. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll have that Game 2 Miramar ready to go. Don't touch that browser. You're watching the NPLC broadcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NPLC Week 1 Phase 2. Things underway. Game 1 won by Team Almost. I'm Degon. That's Hypoc. He's the man. What'd you think of that first game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously great for my prediction to come out second. I don't look like so much of an idiot now, so that's always reassuring. Great performance from Team Almost. They bided their time, like I said. They executed that pretty well in the late game. I'm excited to see how well they can carry on that consistency. If they play like that and as confidently as that, they're going to do really well this season.
Yeah, it's good to see the teams that promote up and fight with the big boys, right? This is your first time in a structured, organized, semi-professional environment, and they did a fantastic job, I think, on Aaron Goal. Let's take a look at the scoreboards after that game 1. Obviously, on top is Team Almost with the win, but taking a look at the points, actually, Sonics has 20 points because of the kill score that they had. They had that compound there in those final circles. They did a fantastic job. Yellow Pike Gaming with Secret Agent One Hog doing a fantastic job, snaking their way into third. Lego Urego, Low-Key Esports, Elevate Trifecta, and Vicious Gaming rounding out the top 8. All those teams. Anyone that you see kind of standing out here in terms of a surprise or just anyone that caught your eye?
I mean, seeing the way God Squad started that game off, I would have liked to have seen them make it a bit further in. Kind of unfortunate with the way that crash played out. Zenith, you know, taking a good decision to come in third party that crash, and they crashed the same compound. Unfortunate for them because, you know, seeing them move as early and as confidently as they did on that bad shift, which was the hard west.
Right.
It would have been nice to see them to make it to late game, but other than that, pretty much as expected. Bit of a point gap already, just after one game.
Yeah.
Only 2 teams making it into double figures, which is something you don't see very often. But obviously the way the game played out for Yellow Pike Gaming, you already mentioned One Hog ending up as a solo. That one, for me, you know, they made a questionable move. They weren't defending the crash as well as they maybe could have. Let, you know, the Lego Urego get in behind them, and it just kind of went downhill from there.
You talk about bad splits all the time. That's what happened there to One Hog and the rest of his squad because they wanted to hold the house. They also wanted to get position there, and it didn't seem like they're on the same page.
No, and One Hog making a good decision to kind of, you know, not all stack on that same one story because 4 people can't fight out of that. But the way One Hog plays to the shack, he's not in a position to, you know, hold that crash down. So, you know, playing the circle, but because of Sonics and where they were and when they made that wrap, kind of rendered useless.
So Sonics taking care of business along with Almost in Game 1. Let's take a look and see how they're going to do in Game 2. Obviously in Miramar, the sandy dunes, the mountainous area. I think that'll be a good look here as we take a look. There's the overall standing. So Sonics at first place with 20 points, even though they didn't get first place in that last game. Almost in second, Lego Urego, Yellow Pike Zenith, Vicious, Low-Key, and God Squad. So that first one was the round score. This one is the total score. Got it. Replacement score. This one is your total score here. And yeah, God Squad sitting there at 8th place. We'll keep an eye on them in that next game because of the fact of how proactive they were. And you like to see that from teams, not just be reactive to the circle or reactive to other teams coming at you, but proactive. So I think they did a good job, which led to that chain reaction over to Zenith and so on and so forth. So we'll keep an eye on these teams. You see the map now from east to west. Go west, young man, right across the middle. So it seems like all of Miramar will be available to these squads. So we get ourselves into Game 2. Miramar, thoughts on Miramar? How do you like it as a map? You know, strengths, weaknesses. What are your thoughts here, Hypoc?
I actually prefer Miramar. A lot of the, you know, I guess the pro scene, the competitive scene, you know, say the terrain is awful to rotate on, but I actually find that, you know, the way this map usually plays out, you get some really interesting fights, especially on foot. Towards the middle of the game, teams are not tending to use vehicles as much, so you get these really interesting team fights that are over really odd spots in the map, and, you know, there's obscure parts of the map that you don't necessarily see very often. Those are the best kind of gunfights for me.
Yeah, and we'll get to see a lot of those on Miramar. Doesn't look like too many teams will be stepping on each other's toes. It does look like God Squad will be heading south yet again. They were the team that dropped all the way into military base, heading over to Los Leones. And let's see, anyone else kind of like clustering around? Noble waiting till the very last second to jump. They're heading to Valle de Mar.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually got a really good spread here from this plane. Obviously, it was pretty much over the center of the map. Looks like we're going to get Sonics taking some early shots towards Mr. Blown Apart. Not sure if they're going to manage to get a knock there, but a good spread for the plane. We shouldn't see too much going on early game. Does look like we've got Team Almost and the Happy Campers dropping
right on top of each other.
Right on top of each other. And then Lego Uego actually occupying Picado. So it'll be interesting to see where these teams choose to transition. But actually, CeeLo maybe getting caught out in the open here without a vehicle. Evasion already hitting 2 mutant shots on it. And there it is. He's going to get the knock on CeeLo.
Yeah, Adam gonna drive by, think about picking up his buddy. You
Nope.
can see it. Sorry, what's that comp? What are those comps like there, iPod?
I think that's CeeLo saying, I'm out in the open, somebody's shooting at me, come and pick me up. Atom's like, oh yeah, you are. You're downed, I'm not risking it.
CeeLo the first to fall in our second game. So started with 64, now down to 63, but all 16 teams will be okay. Shook is still nearby in that area, but looking at this first circle, big shift to the west. So a lot of the teams that dropped early won't pay off and almost getting themselves another knock here on Dune. So maybe the Happy Campers did try to do an operation rescue that has gone awry.
Yeah, this is a shame to see. Happy Campers, one of the teams with, a big roster rework. CeeLo coming into this roster, Landoon coming into this roster. It's a shame to see them, kind of slacking in these first 2 games, but I'm hoping they can turn this around. This could just be teething problems with, not a hot drop necessarily, but a drop spot that's being contested.
Gotcha. So, Happy Campers down a little bit as we see just kind of the terrain here. It is a good spread, as you said. It doesn't look like a lot of teams will be on top of each other early on. We will have a couple of circle gatekeepers here on the eastern side of the circle. I'm looking at Elevate, God Squad as well. We'll be keeping out the sides of Comets. And Comets, yet again, just I feel like in a tough spot. I think in that first one, it was Woe dying early, Snowbird getting cut out. This time now, not friends of the circle, and they're going to have a long way to go as we fought along with Adam. Happy Campers just, they're not camping, so things aren't happy for them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see Atom try and regroup up with, I'm not sure where the last remembering mainer of his team is. Charity looks like he's elsewhere. If they can group up and get themselves a compound, they're going to be looking in a better position, but this drop has just not gone well for the Happy Campers at all. One thing that's going to be interesting to note here, Halakline actually have a really good spread right now. Obviously, these 4 spots that they're occupying, commonly referred to as the Pittsburgh Knights split. This is probably the best position to be in this circle just because of that terrain down to their southwest or the southwest of Power Grid where Kaisuko is. It's notoriously difficult to rotate around and get to. There's a junkyard compound up there, I think. So I'm actually liking Halakline's early decision making here to occupy this much space.
Yeah, and they'll be gatekeeping VG in just a bit as we follow along with Shook and Mystery. Mystery taking a couple of these long-range shots, and Shook was a squad, I think, in Game 1 that didn't quite get things rolling as well. Mystery did have a good hold earlier in that first game with Protege around a shack, I believe, but really we didn't see too much from VZ. Leda died early, and another team trying to get themselves off the ground here on Miramar.
Yeah, absolutely. It was unfortunate the way they ended up getting wiped in Game 1. They kind of settled for a shack, got 4-man pushed by Vicious, but just coming back to Halakline, it actually looks like we're going to see them regrouping. It does look like Charity and Atom.
They just keep going to compound and realizing, hey, this is occupied.
they're just looking for a home right now. It looks like they're going to try and transition back past Team Almost, and actually we do have another team north of them up on the rocks occupying that. You can see Atom actually on the mini-map there. So they're not too far away from each other. They just need to hunker down. They need to regroup, make sure they've got some vehicles so they're able to move into the next circle, but things definitely not starting too well for the Happy Campers.
Almost picking another fight here. Tanaka taking some shots here at Shook. It's VZ in the vehicle working their way around. The circle slowly starting to become a factor here. It does look like Comets will make a juicy, fatty rotation around the southern side of the map. Woe and the boys leading the way around. God Squad just kind of holding, waiting to see if anyone will be rotating around for them. Let's follow along with Zenith now. Zenith squad that did pretty good in terms of placement, found themselves in the middle of the pack here, or on the upper half of the middle of the pack here, as Roth getting pretty close to the trifecta guys. And again, this terrain is so tricky, but it is slightly elevated up as the trifecta guys will rotate around.
Yeah, absolutely. This spot on the map actually, with White and Fate, this is close to our drop spot in Pozo, one of my favorite spots in the map. Trifecta looking like they're going to be playing towards the bowl, but they need to be careful that Halakline are obviously close by in the barn compound. And actually, we do see Trifecta actually getting a knock onto Zenith, which is the other team we saw transitioning on foot. So we're going to have 3 or 4 teams kind of actually clustered around this one hill that's south of Pozo.
Yeah, Zenith, Trifecta, and Halakline all in that little area, and Unique as well in that area as well. So interesting little split here. It's not one big group of Trifecta getting it done. It seems like it's a 3-1 split, and now Yaxley along with Spray leading the way on up to try and turn those knocks into kills.
Yeah, and actually we're going to see Zentrix transition straight back over, and we saw him driving away from this fight earlier. His teammates managing to get in 2 knocks. If they can get forward and capitalize on these, whilst the players are still low, whilst we've still got one person, going for the res, and actually we're going to see the fourth member of Trifecta actually getting knocked elsewhere, Kendo. Great shots there from Unique actually with the SLR.
Oh, and it was a beautiful view. You got to see the helmet pop right on off, and again, Zenith trying to hold on, but everyone's starting to siege up on the Zenith guys. It's not looking good.
I know, this is just another unfortunate occurrence for Zenith. They obviously did a good job on the last map, but it looks like they're going to get caught out in, a questionable spot for them if they knew this many teams were around them.
Yeah, Patron going down smooth. And here it is. The knock picked up, and a couple points in the bag for Trifecta. 3 points so far. Zenith do have one still alive. It's Honey Badger just kind of driving around right now in a vehicle, and he's getting shot at now, not only by Trifecta, but low key as well. He's going to try to make his escape here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, are they going to connect? No, Honey Badger looks like he's going to get out here. I mean, actually, he's in open terrain. He could get blown up here if they're able to land enough shots. He's taken down to half HP, actually. That vehicle is getting lit up by Yaxley with the SLR here. Down to 1 shot, actually. Is he going to be able to make it over the hill here?
It does look like he's able to make it over the hill. If he does, he is safe. Low-key does not have an angle on him. Trifecta does not have an angle on him. He'll be okay, and Zenith's hope for some position points will stay.
I mean, one thing to note there, great awareness from Trifecta to, single out Zenith there, rework some different angles with Zentrix running bait and driving around. Trifecta actually capitalized on that perfectly. Like I said, it's a really good spot, one of my favorites in the map, so to see Trifecta be that aggressive in the early game is really great to see. Actually, we're going to see LK kind of solidify their position here. As we saw Honey Badger, just trying to get away and hold something. Halakline actually opting for a big 2-2 split here, still controlling that terrain I was talking about off to the west of Power Grid. But we should see where teams decide to settle down here with this circle shift. And actually, it's going to be a great shrink for Halakline.
Yeah, a lot of teams in the circle, teams that aren't Yellow Pike Gaming, again, the Ripe Army yet again getting a little bit lucky because there won't be anyone gatekeeping them out. Noble as well in a bit of trouble as it does look like yet again Sonic's doing a good job.
And we actually see Comets all the way at the bottom of the map actually finally transitioning into this circle. They're going to have a rough time. I mean, the best thing they can do right now is rotate back to the east, which is obviously where they've come from in the first place, but that south wrap not really paying off for them because, as you can see by the map, they're not going to have too many options to get into this circle.
That's right. Shook, almost, low-key, all will be gatekeeping here against Comets. They do have time to make that rotation, but you're right, going to be pretty difficult for them as we've fallen along now with Vicious Gaming. Aimbot realizes there are a lot of bodies nearby, and not all of them are his teammates. He wants to keep that buggy safe, and will rotate it out of the way for now.
I mean, the important thing to note here is obviously with this circle coming out the way it has, like I said, the terrain on Miramar, this central area around the map near Power Grid, notoriously difficult to transition in vehicles. So you're going to see teams get to the spot that they want to play towards the end game. We're not going to see too many vehicle transitions in the center of the circle. Obviously, we still have teams that want to try and get a spot, but people are pretty much just going to hunker down here. We see a lot more edge play in Miramar than we would Erangel, just due to the rotations.
All right, so a lot of the teams that have good camp spots on the edge will be hanging tight right now. As you see, Lego Urego just scouting out. Things are pretty good for them. They want to try and get better placement than they did last time. They did a decent job, but hopefully will continue to get those points as teams starting to make their move. Comets now working their way in, and surprisingly, almost has slid away from them. So Comets should be safe as they sneak into the final little corner of that circle, and good for them as they wouldn't have too much trouble against it.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out, Trifecta actually making the decision to retreat all the way back to Pozo. As you can see, Halakline, making the right decision, going from that 2-2 split, that wide 2-2 split, choosing to regroup up where they have, which is pretty much dead center. Trifecta actually, unfortunately, not identifying that Halakline transitioned out of that compound and actually moving all the way back.
Here we are back with comments. I said they would be okay, except if Matthew runs himself over, he's in a little bit of trouble. Who's that? Tanaka is nearby. We'll get right back to the action. Yeah, beautiful shot of the Hotel Paris, and Sub-Zero gonna take away the kill of his teammate. Matthew, you idiot, here's a grenade.
I mean, the important thing to note there is actually Matthew knocked himself. So actually that kill isn't going to go over to Team Almost. So actually good awareness from Sub-Zero there. I'm not sure if he got tagged up when he was driving down in the vehicle and he just hit the wall and knocked himself out. But good awareness from Sub-Zero there to steal the kill point away.
Yeah, so comments now have alarmed Almost that, hey, there's another team here, and Tanaka will be holding that side. Yusugal as well will be shooting down south as we follow along with Ripe Army, one of our new squads here. Didn't have quite the impact that they wanted in Game 1, trying to bounce back here in Game 2. Biznatch, I think, was the last to fall and did okay. But again, a team that wants to get themselves on the scoreboard early. Only 16 games, 4 weeks, 4 matches a day. So got to make sure that they take care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said it yourself there. 16 games, we've had LAN events that have only been a best of 16. So to have this entire season over 16 games, it's going to be interesting to see if players and teams obviously start out the way they mean to end out.
Sure. Trifecta, they started off great early on. Now with 2 people knocked, Yaxley and Unique down, fought along with Zentrix, Spray, his other teammate that is alive. They're trying to figure out who is on the opposite side, and they're going to have to hold for a little bit as we see Unique in a little bit of trouble as well. Spray trying to give some Spray coverage, has a smoke down, but now starting to get knocked just a bit there and forced to retreat.
Yeah, if in doubt, nade it out, as we see Trifecta throwing some nades down there. Again, not to call them out, but Trifecta could have avoided this scrappy fight, which we're now going to see in the blue, if they'd have made the decision to go for that compound. And actually, wow, okay. Unique managing to get the knock onto Gwen Stacy. And actually, Acro knocking down One Hog. Not sure what's gone on there, but this fight not looking too pretty right now. It's getting pretty messy.
No, it's not. Spray seeing if he can get any other points, and no, it's Yellow Pike Gaming picking up the kills here in Trifecta. Early good start, looking like they were going to knock out Zenith first. They're the team that falls first, and somewhere in the blue, Honey Badger is smiling.
Absolutely, yeah. He's going to be reading the kill feed and just going, yeah, well, that didn't pay off for you. That's karma coming right back around to them. Elevate obviously securing themselves in a pretty good position down towards the power grid.
Smack dab in the middle of the circle right now.
Yeah, and obviously transitioning there from Halakline giving that up, but obviously Halakline's still chilling where they are. We should see some transitions with this next circle that's going to result in some sending towards the terrain. We're probably going to see this one, be a bit slow towards when the circle does crunch. But as you can see, the center of the circle wide open, and we just have these teams littered on the edge.
Yeah, it does look like Yellow Pike will have to make their move. Honey Badger still way outside of the circle right now, just following along. He's actually going to take some shots and try to take down some people out in the blue, and he's doing a decent job here, landing some shots. One Hog will be able to drive himself out. Nope, not going to be able to get it. Now he's got to run.
Now he's got to run. The unfortunate thing for him there, I think he was maybe playing for a vehicle. I'm not sure what his decision is going to be here, but you can actually see Yellow Pike Gaming are going to be moving straight towards this valley that Noble are actually currently occupying. And yeah, you do see EDAC pick up one knock onto Acro. Going to go ahead and confirm that one, but YPG with not many options here. Noble are going to try and hold down their edge, and I like this proactiveness from Noble.
Yeah, there we go, EDAC. The guy from Louisiana taking care of business along with Fudge, getting themselves 2 points on the board early.
And actually, we can see Sonics actually going to get caught out here on the edge. Not sure what the game plan is here for Sonics, because there's nowhere to go here. We do see Honey Badger eventually die in the blue. And actually, Smithy trading back and getting a knock onto Fudge, so this could flip this team fight around.
Yeah, that's a long-range shot there by Smithy. Not exactly nearby, as Noble is focused early on Sonics and Vicious Gaming. It's going to be a 3-man party here. very shortly, but it might be 4 because Loki's shooting all the way from the the western side of the circle right now, and Noble have to make a quick decision here. They're able to get their buddy up, but it does look like Sonics and VG getting in very close very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be make or break for Sonics here. They need to take control of the top of this hill because, as you can see, VG still occupying the compound. They have Noble behind them. They need to pick a team fight and they need to take it. Obviously, if they're going to try and salvage here, Boom actually getting a knock back onto Tiggleton. But like I was saying, Sonics need to pick a team fight here. It feels like they're trying to fight 2 different battles and neither of them really give them an option into the circle. Well,
Sonics should be able to pick this one up here. Finna down. Fozu does have support in the form of Reno a little bit further down at the bottom side of the hill, which makes it tough for Fozu to be okay with playing aggressive. He does have utility, 4 smokes if he wants to drop one of those and get Finna up, and it does look like Finna's in a safe spot. Reno will leave all of his safety and try to help out his teammate here.
I do like this aggression from VG though, pushing it all the way out of the compound, identifying that, there's more than one team up here fighting, but as you can see, it might not pay off because Sonics have just gone straight to the east side. Even though they're 2 players, they might actually have a way into this compound now. This could come back to bite VG from behind.
Yeah, it does. Let's follow along with, right now, Yellow Pike Gaming. Actually, speaking of that big rotation there, VG stepping on up, thinking it was time to get aggressive onto Sonics, and all the while, Noble was slowly pushing on in, and a good switcheroo here by Sonics to be like, hey guys, we're here, we switch, it's a different team, surprise.
Yeah.
Noble's like, we don't care, we'll take the points.
And actually, just kind of a bit of cast a curse there, but VG actually getting instantly punished. They end up being pinched in between these 2 teams. Reno now the last up for VG, hoping to maybe get a consolation kill here, but as you can see, Sonics have actually made it all the way into the east side of their compound. So this really actually coming back to bite VG in the arse.
Yeah, unfortunate that those shots didn't connect for Reno, and now he's like, let's get into one of these compounds and fight me up close because there's 4 of you and only 1 of me. And he's about to run right into the rest of Sonics. Let's follow along with Almost here on the southern side. They're able to take a couple of kills here early on, and now they're pressing up against Shook, and multiple Shook members going down. Tanaka, great quick peek over the top and able to take down Leda. And so Leda's down, he'll pop into the smoke, 4 HP as he was taking some bullets, but he'll stay alive. And Protege is right in front of him, easy points to pick up in just a second for Tanaka.
Yeah, really great switch from Tanaka actually there. We do actually see Lego Uigo looking like, wow, okay. Yeah, Lego Uigo actually picking up both of those kills there, so stealing the down away from Team Almost. And actually looking like they're going to take control of this dip on the southeast side of Power Grid. I mean, great awareness from Lego Uigo there. They should know that the rest of Shook is nearby, and they should try and clean up these kills as well.
Yeah, Mystery's able to get onto the opposite side of the ridge. Leda not as lucky quite yet, but a mystery to mystery. Our Comets, finally our boys that have gone all the way around the map. They're Globetrotters now on the eastern side, just like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Comets get themselves into the position, and you can see it's paying off now with a bit of circle luck. They're going to have an easy transition in foot onto these dirt roads on the east side of the circle. Going to be interesting to see what goes on with Ripe Armies. Big 2-2 split, a wide 2-2 split here, but it does look like we've got Retaliate looking like he wants to regroup. That's probably the right decision in this point, but coming back just to this Lego Uigo and Shook fight, later still stuck in this dip. He's going to get naded out by Zytus. Mystery probably just going to opt to send it here. He's not got many places to go, but I mean, Mystery now probably going to be picked up by Comets, unless he can find a dip or something.
There we go.
He needs to get far enough away from Lego Uigo that they can't trail him. But as you can see, Comets are already set up on this side of the circle.
Loving the fact that the last 3 kills Lego Uigo got, just like their logo, all grenades, and now Mystery, yeah, it's no longer a mystery. He's in between a rock and a hard place. The rock being Comet, the hard place being Lego Uigo right behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do actually see the elsewhere. If we can switch over to that, and actually
Sonics
Noble. Already wiping out Noble. Too quick to switch over and catch that, but
that was a 4v2.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Sonic's doing really well. I guess that's Noble not identifying who was left, but I mean, really unfortunate for Noble there because they had themselves a good spot, but well played from Sonics. We didn't quite catch it, but well played from Sonics to defend their spot there because if you look at the circle now, they're in a great position.
All right, so we're in the point spots now. Teams 8 through 1 all get points based off of placement, so unfortunate there for Mystery, not able to snake his way. Not a lot to snake through here in the barren desert. So he falls, and we take a look at Phase 5, closing up here in just a minute. Sonics, again, finding themselves a compound within the circle. Elevate as well in a pretty good spot. but they will be starting to be shot down by Rise Army from Ripe Army. I keep wanting to say Rise Army. Ripe Army, the new team from the northern side. They've got a great part of the circle there, so it's barely moving. A lot of action going on right now. Lego Your Ego now getting cut out by God Squad.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually seeing Lego Your Ego trail the same foot rotation that Comet's made. So I'm wondering if they're going to make it down far enough to engage in this team fight. God Squad are trying to pressure them, so they are going to be forced to the same side of the circle as Comets. We could see a straight up team fight here in the terrain, which will be really exciting to watch.
Yeah, the circle gods, pray to it. Make it happen. Let's see the gunfire, the gun battles. So we take a look around. Lego Your Ego still rotating around. Comets will be pushed up against, and over them, that is Ripe Army that have made a big rotation themselves. So the rotation gods might get rotated upon. Now Lego Your Ego getting shot down. Snowbird gonna land the shots. Sub-Zero gonna pick that one up. Nade's starting to rain down on the Nade team though. Maradonas has to start popping the first aid to get himself back up in life. He is in the circle and we'll have to rotate around. Good smoke to keep everyone safe for now, but God Squad right on the tail of Lego Your Ego.
Yeah, absolutely love this aggression from God Squad here. They identified the Lego Your Ego were forced into this corner and actually identifying that they were getting knocked from another team and opting to come out here. This is the point of the game where you want to start picking up some kill points. We know that now there isn't too much to play inside the circle, so this is the point where you just want to say, look, find a team, let's go fight them. And you do see actually a combined effort there from Ripe Army and God Squad to take out Lego Your Ego.
Yeah, so Lego Your Ego, good round, got themselves some kills, go out in 8th, get themselves 1 position point. We'll get to look at that once we see the total score. Circle popping right now. All that action finally happened, and now Comets and God Squad will be facing off against each other. Let's see what happens when the gods face the Comets. And it does look like Triggs already has a couple kills to his name, able to land a couple shots. Prodigy getting a kill there, and Triggs forced to run away very low. He actually gets knocked, and it is a combination of Rise Army and Comets picking that one up. Woe taking a row and swinging away at the God Squad, and God Squad now what looked to be a 4-man squad now in a lot of trouble, only Mortify alive.
Yeah, absolutely. They should be able to get this res off here, but one thing to note, Elevate do have line of sight onto this fight. Danny unfortunately falling victim to the blue, but it's going to be interesting to see if Elevate can actually clean up these 2 scrappy team fights here. You can see Ripe Army on the northeast side. They've transitioned back across the road, and we do get Triggs actually taking down Sub-Zero. I want to see God Squad push in here and close out this team fight and secure these kill points.
Yeah, they do have to. If they continue to push north, following along Woe, the circle will come in and close in on them. So they have to start making their way into the safety, the safety of the circle. But Rise Army in a pretty good spot right now and landing these shots. Woe did a good job bobbing and weaving, but now just stuck in a cloud of smoke, and it just seems to be a matter of time before he falls as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got maybe 15, 20 seconds before this one comes down, and the smoke's going to clear, and he's just going to be laid in the open there.
Low key, though, making themselves heard. Chubba Bubba and Figinaldo landing a nade. 3 members falling here. Solid stuff, and the kills picked up. That's multiple kills, and low key making a statement here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just going to see Gunner try and prong this one out, do what he does best. Unfortunately, going to get spotted out by Elevate here. And yes, he's going to get taken out. Mini Fridge coming in with that kill to wipe out Halakline in 7th place.
Shout out to Mini Fridge. Good way to show up. And now God Squad gets eliminated. Woe playing this one slow, gets himself multiple points here. So it looked like he was going to fall out in 7th. Now he's looking at a 5th place finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great patience from Woe there. Got himself a spot in the circle and actually just allowed Ripe Army to defend him. So
yeah, and now Sonics and Ripe Army going back and forth. The more that the quiet Woe might wait, the more points that he might sneak up upon. Elevate will be forced to move in this next circle, so no more compounds left. Maybe just like one more hut here. Loki has done a solid job taking care of Halakline. They have Elevate in their sights, and it seems like it's just going to be a 2v4 on the top side, a 3v4 on the bottom side, and Woe just kind of spectating and hoping for the best.
Absolutely. Woe is just going to, count his blessings here, and anything from here out is a bonus for him. Sonics, actually really happy to see them back in the top 5, proving that I do know a thing or two about PUBG. So
you're going to keep milking that one.
That's definitely reassuring to see. We are going to see
Tony V, keep giving it back to him. You see, you're just feeding his ego. You guys can't see it right now, but I'm running out of space here in the studio because his head's getting bigger and bigger. The circle's finally closing here.
Interesting to see Sonics actually securing themselves a nice dip that they're going to be able to fight out of here. They're probably going to be in a rough spot come the next circle, but if they can pick up some free kill points here, which they are looking to do against Low-Key, as we do see actually Woe starting to transition, actually Chubba getting the knock onto Sonics there, we are going to see Woe come right up behind Ripe Army. I mean, again, like I said, anything from here out for Woe is a bonus. If he can get up a free kill point here, it's going to be totally worth.
Yeah, Secret Agent Woe doing his best one hog cosplay in game 2 here on Miramar, has himself some terrain cover and a free shot right here on Mr. Blown Apart. And he wants to do exactly that. There it is. He takes the spray. He's able to get the kill, is he? Yes, he is. And whoa, getting him and Comets a couple more points. Now Biznatch knows he's there. And as well as Sonic. Sonic has to know he's there as well. But Biznatch closer, throwing a grenade. Woe's running right into the rest. He's got to decide. Is he running into Comets? Yeah, or is he running into Sonics? It does look like he's going to be running into Sonics very shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ripe Army taking the right decision. Maybe not the best of awareness to control their side. You are going to see actually Ripe Army get third-partied here as they try and clean up Woe. But you see them take this aggressive split, try and get some kill points, get control of the center of the circle. And unfortunately, falling victim to a snake. We are going to see Low-Key actually using some utilities to try and get a bit closer to Elevate, I think, getting some damage onto Godku, but this south side of the circle could get a bit interesting.
Yeah, Victor, you're talking about the split. Victor it was like a 3-pronged attack here for Ripe Army, and although it seemed good, they did lose one. Woe now might be paying off here because Steezy BB getting himself a knock right in the head, and Victor goes down. Only 2 members left for Ripe Army. Elevate looking nicer and nicer. Woe able to get a knock on the Keenan, and Woe might find himself 2 kills here on the Sonics boys. Tony V, the only one left alive on the northern side of the map. A grenade by Figanaldo. That's his 3rd one so far in the last 5 minutes. Gets himself a knock, and now Elevate in some trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And Elevate just getting picked apart here. Low-Key choosing the right time to pounce on this team fight, waiting for Elevate to have to move out in the open. It's going to be Steezy BB left on his own on the southeast side. Low-Key now in a great position to just put forward and third party this 2v1 fight with Elevate and Ripe Army. So I want to see Low-Key remain aggressive here. If they've got any more nades, now's the time to throw them.
Yeah, here it is. Retaliate doing a solid job hanging right over the edge. Steezy BB on top there. And Woe still holding on in a good spot, does have stims going and will be healing up. Tony V still alive, and there it is. Steezy BB does get knocked by Retaliate. So again, Woe's sneaky antics getting himself more and more points and doing a fantastic job with it. A kill squad, though, of Low-Key members now roaming around. Woe and Tony V going 1v1 right now. If we can follow along with that one, they're shooting back and forth. And Woe winning that one. So the remaining member of Sonics, it looks good for a while. Tony V does go down, and Woe working his way back in here. But he has given up his position, taking a look at which way the eyes are looking. Everyone's looking Woe's direction right now. Biznatch and Retaliate, though, relatively safe. Figanaldo does have eyes out for Ripe Army, and so we'll have to see which way do Low-Key decide to go and where the circle ends up popping.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if Low-Key kept track of the kill feed there, but interesting decision for them not to close out the fight against Ripe Army. They knew that there was a knock as soon as Steezy BB got confirmed. They would have seen the knock that Steezy got on to Retaliate, or Biznatch, I can't remember, sorry, but interesting decision by them to swing back to the center, not go and confirm the kill on Woe, but now they're in a position where it's a 3v2v1, and actually they're going to be fighting, a team fight on 2 fronts here.
Yeah, so Woe and Sub-Zero, the former Lazarus boys, showing off a little bit of class here as they have snaked their way into the final 3 teams and turned what should have been maybe like 4 points now possibly into 10, the double-digit mark that you were talking about earlier in Map 2. Ripe Army, it's about time they showed up, and now they're doing a solid job working their way in. The circle is coming on in, though.
Yeah, Biznat's actually making a really interesting move here. He's going to try and get behind Low-Key. Obviously, this is what I was talking about. They didn't have great awareness of how this fight went down. It does look like Fignaldo is going to spot him out, and actually he gets knocked to the blue, so really unfortunate for Biznat there. But Woe now taking the opportunity to pounce here, does get the knock onto Pax and the confirm. So this could fall apart for Low-Key.
Bubba's not taking his shots here on Woe. He's right there. Ooh, one headshot does land, and so Woe's journey does finally end. Chubba Bubba has been chunked, though, so Retaliate has a decent job here against Figanaldo, the man who has been carrying Low-Key and Chubba Bubba. He will be able to get one. No, he won't. And it's Low-Key Esports on the back of Figanaldo, 12 kills, and take this one home. Fantastic job there by Low-Key. Great job as well by Woe and the Comet boys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Woe staying alive as long as he did is some seriously clutch snake in there. Managed to pick himself up 4 kills as well, which obviously is a great buffer when you're down to a solo, and your solo player can pick up those 4 kills as well on top of that. That's a real added bonus.
Oh, absolutely. And you look at a team like Elevate, they got some very beneficial circles there, and it helped them that they were in the compound. I think they only finished with 3 kills. Mini Fridge had a couple of those, but again, the placement points worked out well. I love the way that the teams that didn't get the circle help with compounds were able to find the terrain. Like you said, a lot of terrain battle here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Loki taking 2 really key team fights there. Obviously, the push onto Haloclone, which forced Gunner to be last up and end up dying to Elevate. But Loki, one of the teams that was outside the circle, they identified which terrain was best to push, and they made a really smart move into the circle there, and it paid off for them. Not only winning the game, but picking up as many kills as they did. Really good awareness from that.
Maybe something that could have been better were your Sonic boys there. I think that they had a decent position. They moved out early, and it seemed like they were a little bit, maybe a little bit not on the same page, and also a great play by Woe, to be fair. But again, winning those 1v1s there, I think they might look back on this one and been like, hey, this was a 5th place. We could have been up there 3rd, 2nd.
I mean, still, from how early things fell apart for them, they ended up taking a really good fight against Noble, defending the compound. Unfortunate, but getting into top 5, you're going to have games like that. If your bad games are top 5 games, you can't really complain about that.
Well, that was game 2. Low-key Esports taking the 2nd one overall. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll get right back into Miramar with game 3. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NPLC. All right, so that was our round number 2 of week 1. Low-key Esports coming out on top, not only in terms of points, kills, but placement as well. And I think they did a fantastic job. They were able to count it on in. And you take a look there, Ripe Army in 2nd, Comets in 3rd, Sonics 4th, Elevate 5th, rounding out that top 5. And I think a team that kind of should have been in that was God Squad. They ended up getting caught out and fired upon there, I believe, by both Ripe Army and Sonics. But again, a pretty solid showing there from our top 5, top 6.
Yeah, I mean, really unfortunate for God Squad there. I identified it during the game, but I really like the push from them. They identified that, you know, circle shifted, and as soon as it shifted, they chose a team fight, they pushed it. Unfortunately, the way things turn out, which quite often in PUBG they do, there's a third party coming from somewhere 400 meters away, which you don't anticipate. But I like the decision making, I like the aggression, and I like, you know, the decisiveness. As soon as the circle shifts, let's take this team fight because, you know, we might be screwed.
Yeah, a lot of different names actually on this scoreboard. Let's take a look at the overall standings and see how everything's shaken up after 2. Sonics. There it is. Oh, you guys can't see it. You guys can't see it, but this smile just lit up everything. The lights, everything did not compare to this Brit man's teeth right here. Holy moly. Sonic's number 1, 28 points. Low-key with that fantastic last game, 27. Almost Lego Your Ego. Yellow Pike Gaming and Comets rounding that one out in the top 6. And so, go ahead. Well, the floor is yours. What is it, Sonics?
What can I say? I mean, they had 2 really good games. The second game more so, it was a good attempt by them to salvage. They were in a rough spot. But what I want to identify is that they've got 9 kills average basically over the first 2 games, which is what you want to pick up. And like I said, if your bad games are finishing in the top 5 with a couple of kills, you're going to be happy to pick them up all season long.
Absolutely. So Sonic's doing a solid job taking care of business. A surprise to me is Low-key Esports. Low-key Esports getting that many points off of one game because they were relatively incognito in that game 1 Erangel. But in Miramar 1, Figinaldo picking up the slack, multiple nade kills. And I think one thing that we're seeing a shift now is after that global event, how often people are throwing these frag grenades now and like just the radius of the explosion and picking up knocks and kills with it.
I mean, it's been a nade method for the last few months, but players are really starting to adjust now.
Yeah.
You see these, and again, talking back to the terrain fights that we see in Miramar particularly, you see these quick head peeks, they'll go for a couple of tags, and straight away they come back, they pull a nade out. Because there's no danger there. You can throw a nade over, get a free knock. If people are stacked up, you end up getting 2 knocks, but it really opens up team fights. And obviously there's minimal risk because you're attacking from cover. So we're seeing them become more and more popular now. People have, I guess, finally started like ironing down when the right decision is to nade, and people actually saving their utility till late games. Those are the teams you usually see do well because they have smokes, they have nades. They don't have to take these open team fights where, you know, you're risking going out in a straight team fight.
Sure, of course. And so I think nades will be something that we look at here. Also, a relatively safe playing path in that last game. Let's see how we go in game number 3. The second time we're going to be heading over to Miramar. Not the best vacation spot, I would say. A little too dry for me, but it is going to be on the southern side, the peninsula, where there is a little bit of water. So maybe not the worst vacation spot, but a lot of that northern area won't be in play. So let's get to see how much happens here on Los Leones and down further and see how much prep these teams have made for a southern type map here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing I want to see here on this south plane again is the Happy Campers definitely iron out their drop spot. Obviously, we saw them struggle. They got picked apart one by one in the last map. But this is another another plane where we should see them kind of be a bit more decisive, drop together, make sure they're securing vehicles. Actually, whether or not they're going to switch up at all. Obviously, team almost taking the decision to drop in the same spot. Obviously, you have to bear with us the first few weeks while we iron out, you know, teams' actual spots on the map. But it looks like the Happy Campers are actually going to transition a bit further south. So I like this decision making. You know, coming straight into the next game and saying it didn't go well in the first one, let's switch things up a bit. As we do actually see Lego Your Ego, Zytus get knocked to Fallen. Not sure what's going on there, whether or not that was straight out of the parachute. Things maybe not going so hot in Picardo right now. As we do see it, pretty much a similar pop to the first game. Halakline obviously sitting pretty with that first pop.
Yeah, I see almost as well dropping exactly to the same spot as they did. Shook as well. Low-key starting in that same area. So a lot of these teams going to the same place. I think the Happy Camper is one of them that as they need to, decided that, hey, maybe this isn't the best spot for us, and they weren't able to get anything. Comets also in that eastern area as the circle pops west yet again, so maybe it is more of that the same kind of ending area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only real overlap we have here is God Squad and Zenith sharing Los Leones, but it looks like they're pretty evenly spread on the east and west side, so we shouldn't see any early game fighting there unless, you know, God Squad or Zenith get a lucky opening knock. But it's going to be interesting to see if the Happy Campers make a decision to move east from their Luton transition or just go straight north. So I'm hoping not to see them get picked apart in rotation again.
Yeah, trying to figure out, okay, yeah, all of Yellow Pike in one vehicle, that's why we couldn't see the other ones. But we'll, there we go. All right, there we go. So Yellow Pike also just all in one car right now. They're close to Elevate. It does look like Sonic's going to be in the same area, but I think overall just a good circle for everyone. It does seem like Comets get unlucky yet again, and Ripe Army are going to have a lot of work to do if they want to get that second place like last time. Yeah,
I mean, one thing to note here, if they opt to make the same south wrap that they did in the previous one, they're going to get caught out because we're going to have THC and Ripe Army kind of lurking on the south side. So it's going to be interesting to see if they were aware of that drop. Obviously, they can't really make the transition straight in if God Squad move north out of Leonis, but I'm hoping to see them make a smart decision with their rotation in the first circle because, I mean, they did well. They took a really wide south wrap in that first Miramar game. Ended up, you know, coming in with a bit of a scrappy fight with Matthew getting that knock to driving / falling.
Right.
But, you know, hopefully they should be able to iron it out and get... They actually have a direct path here, as you can see on that road, straight west, north of Los Leones. So we should see them with a bit easier time.
All right, so following along with Elevate, and it does seem like everyone's going to be relatively friendly early on. We've gotten our 2 games on both maps now out of the way. Probably the early jitters out of the way, and the teams will be excited to knock out their game plan, at least loot up first. And I think the Happy Campers are one of them. Almost, though, doing exactly the same thing, catching teams rotating in and taking some shots here at Shook.
Oh, wow.
And actually, maybe Tanaka's like, yeah, I didn't get a knock. I'm out of here.
I mean, actually, for a second there, it looked like he knows that he got a tag and he was going to chase, but it looks like actually Protege is going to hook back round to the west and he's going to try and get away from this. I thought we were going to see Tanaka jump in the car there and chase down Protege. Well,
Protege's in a little bit of trouble because now he's running into Figinaldo and in the same direction that the rest of the Almost Boys are as we follow along with said kill leader from last round, Figinaldo. Big time grenades. You're going to see carrying multiple nades in that next game, or in this game. And he was the one that was leading the way here for Low Key Esports. They were a team, surprisingly, that almost didn't make it back in to the NPLC. I think after day 2, day 1, they were leading the scoreboard. I think day 2, they were almost out. And then day 3, I think they were the final team to qualify back on into the NPLC versus the NPL Open teams, that open qualifiers, and that would have been very difficult for them to recover. However, they've done so and doing a good job with that game 2 victory and finding themselves in second place.
I mean, Loki isn't a team I mentioned before we started these games tonight. But, I mean, if you look at the roster, we have Chubba Bubba and Fignaldo obviously teaming up. They're 2 big names in terms of fragging. We also have Pax coming over from Elevate and Smithy coming from the previous Sonics roster. So, you know, on paper, that is also a team to watch. So it's good to see them come out, start strong, win in match 2 with as many kills as they did. Again, a rough game 1, but if they can iron out and carry on that momentum into this game, it should be interesting to see.
All right, following along now with the Almost Boys, the new squad, finding themselves a good round 1, not the best round 2. Found a couple of picks early on. They're going to be getting closer and closer to the Shook squad. Again, those guys, I think those guys sent a message and said, hey, look, we know they are in that area. Now, Tanaka and Evasion, they're doing a 2-2 split, but they're going to keep taking these pot shots against Shook. None of them really connecting, and mine will have to head on into this house and think better for the next little skirmish that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we going with Yasugal or Yusug?
Yeah, you know what?
Yusk.
I think we'll go with Yusugal because it sounds so much funnier when you say it.
Okay. Well, when I say it. Okay.
Yeah. Yusugal.
Yasugal.
You get a big gull at the end, like seagull. How would you say seagull?
Seagull.
See, seagull.
Seagull.
It's like you hold on to it. Yusugal. I don't even remember how you were saying it beforehand.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You seagull, you seagull, you suggle. Hit us up. Let us know how you want us to say your name.
We can look forward to you putting on a British accent every time you try and say that name.
Can't wait.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loki actually looking like they're trying to transition a bit further north than almost. If they try and take control of the rocks here, it's going to be an interesting spot. Very similar to obviously how they played the previous game. So I think they've come away from the first game and said, look, we made some good moves. I like that spot. I like how we played it. Obviously, there's a couple of changes with how teams are positioned around them. Obviously, previous game we saw Elevate occupying the power grid.
Yeah.
And obviously, we see them elsewhere on the map this game. But we do have Trifecta throwing a spanner in the works here by occupying the junkyard halfway up the hill. So it's going to be interesting to see if Loki do take the option to move on to the high ground again.
Yeah, teams are starting to condense on down. God Squad is right next to Elevate, and that's where we're going to follow along. Grizzly trying to take some shots at Triggs, and Triggs, known for his trigger finger, did a decent job getting some aggressive knocks in that last match as we follow along now with Godku. And the Elevate guys now have to fight up against Elevation as God Squad has the high ground.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Goku actually getting a nice opening knock onto Mortify there.
Oh!
Not going to be able to get the confirm onto that. Prodigy with a nice trade back there. I'm wondering if Elevate are going to try and bail out of this. Are they just pitching up and leaving? Or it looks like they are. They're going to transition straight away. So unfortunate there for Godku because he was kind of left out in the lurch, but did manage to get the opening knock. So I'm not sure about the decision making there, but
yeah.
I like the fact Elevate have said, look, we're not going to try and res you. We don't want to take the fight. But it looks like they're actually going to run into trouble elsewhere, pulling up onto Sonics.
Yeah, Grizzly able to get himself into safety. Only took a little bit of ping damage, 52 health left. Will have time to heal up. Does have first aid, some bandages, so can do so. But yeah, surprising what that call is. Maybe it's, hey, look, you know, we're a placement team. I'm okay with that. If we take this fight here against God Squad and lose early, that would be tough, as well as the fact is, if we take this fight, we attract a lot of attention, and it might not even be us not believing in this 1v1 or one team against one team. It's about getting third party, and it's just not worth it. And I think that's unfortunate because Godku got the jump on that on the first player and almost got the kill, but team not able to back him up.
Yeah, two things I want to note here. I like the awareness from Elevate to come down and actually regroup with their team here because we do see Keenan up on the high ground above, trying to give Tony V some support. It's actually really difficult to get up onto the high ground from where Tony is, so I'm not sure what the plan is going to be there because he has to go way far north of this position we're looking at now. But Elevate now should really identify as not a full team here. They're going to have a bit of space to play with. But I do like, you know, the reactiveness of Elevate there to come back Grizzly up in this compound. So
Circle has closed, has headed a little bit north, maybe a little bit northeast. So a lot of these teams, even teams that did well last time, low-key in a little bit of trouble. Zenith won't be able to work their way on in. But Sonic's right on top of Yellow Pike Gaming right now as we take a look at them. I Love Gwen Stacy taking down Wooly, former Simplicity member, falling early. And so the rest of your boys, the Sonic boys, are going to have to go on out with their without their former NPL player.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, something we were used to seeing in NPL Phase 1 with Willie, playing that kind of scout IGL role, he was getting caught off quite a lot on his own. So it's unfortunate to see, you know, some of those mistakes being repeated. But like I said, with that previous engagement between Elevate and Sonics with Keenan and Tony V, and maybe that was a decision to pull back and reinforce Tony V to get out of the compound. Maybe that's why Willie was left out alone. But unfortunate to see him go down this early.
Yeah, Charity also run right on into the mountainous area, will hold themselves relatively well.
And actually, the Happy Campers keeping 4 up. We love to see that. 10 minutes into the game, Happy Campers still with 4 players alive. So actually looking way more promising this time around on Miramar.
Lots of action now happening on the western side of the circle. Adaculus and the rest of Noble Boys running into Trifecta and Halocline Gaming, as well as a lot of action around Lego Your Ego almost. And the Shook Boys with Zenith right behind them. Big cluster on the southern side. A lot of action will be coming down very, very shortly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually seen Noble play this spot in the map quite often in Miramar. Obviously, we've run into them quite often, having dropped in Pozo in Phase 1 with White and Fate. Noble really like this spot. And actually, you know, credit where credit's due. They do play this open terrain pretty well. So if we do get another ship that's kind of advantageous towards the west, it'll be interesting to see how Noble choose to play that one.
All right, so a lot of vehicle action still. Zenith fitting a lot of people in one vehicle. That's always scary. One explosion might doom all of them.
I mean, I do like that, though. They've taken the option to stop early, get out. They don't want to rotate past the team with 4 people in, but a nail on the head there. It is risky to put all 4 up in the same vehicle.
And they will be encroaching very shortly onto Almost, but getting shot from behind here by Shook as well, down the mountain. And now it looks like Zenith put themselves in a tough spot. Great shot by Honey Badger, but now Evasion trying to get the counter kill. Yes, he'll be able to land it on Patron, land it. Another one, no, yes, he's able to get the kill. So not another knock, but one member down here for Zenith. Unfortunately, the boys find themselves out of the vehicle and now out of cover.
Yeah, absolutely. And Team Almost should be able to get this res back up. Actually, Roth pushing closer and closer here. I'm not sure if he's going to try and catch them off guard here, because I don't think they know that Roth is as close as he is. Maybe it's a good time for Roth to kind of reset here, let his 2 teammates get closer. It looks like Team Almost are actually going to try and transition to a better part of the map, a bit better terrain.
Here comes Roth.
Actually, here you go, Roth. Yeah, actually taking a canine shot from Evasion.
Yeah, Roth able to sneak his way onto the wall. Did get a couple of members a little bit of damage, but maybe not worth it. Here comes Honey Badger and the rest of the Zenith boys.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Roth make use of that position there and actually peek out, because he would have caught 1 or 2 of Almost transitioning in the open to try and back up the shack here. You do see actually, wow, okay, we've got all 3 of Almost saying, you know, get out of our spot here. We're going to defend this, and they're actually looking hungry right now.
Yeah, they are. Mime. Not a man of words, but of actions. Now taking very aggressive placement here. Wants to get rid of the rest of the Zenith boys. Has left himself a little bit open. And there it is. Honey Badger almost taking care of it. 1 HP. And Mime says, all right, I'll moonwalk my way out of here. 1 HP, he'll heal up. And Tanaka now using the nades, just kindly dropping one over the rock. Not going to land onto anything. But the circle now has popped. We can see it on the mini-map of these guys right here. It's a central circle. And so half in, half out, this action will definitely start heating up. But Lego Urego now starting to shoot the Zenith boys as they're getting sandwiched in multiple positions.
And well, actually, yeah, we're seeing Zenith swing right back around again and take this fight with Team Almost. And actually, Honey Badger landing 2 nice M24 shots there. Obviously, Roth caught out on the top of these rocks. It's going to be difficult here for Zenith to get out of this. With Lego Urego applying the pressure from far, Roth is kind of stuck here, but he does manage to actually, wow, okay, he gets a knock and a down onto Evasion with a Scar, and manages to confirm a kill onto Tanaka, so stealing that one away.
And he's thrown it deep at the shack, not to try and pick up the kill on Evasion, but anyone else that's trying to help get up Yasugal. And now the Almost boys will have to figure out their new plan. Roth is going to pick this one up. Mime seems to be the only one left alive here. And yeah, Mime, he got aggressive early, had to moonwalk himself out, not able to help out his teammates. Roth taking some shots and will go down to Blown Apart and picked off by Blown Apart. This small region now picking up a lot. Noble also joining into this action as well.
Well, yeah, and as we see Noble actually swing all the way around to the southwest side of the circle. And we've actually got a cluster of 3 teams now that are going to end up. They're just going to be fighting for this terrain because, as we already know, Lego Urego are a bit further east of this position, and actually they're going to be able to hold down this side of the circle.
Yeah, here comes Fudge. They want to get on in there, but Blown Apart taking care of business. Edak trying to back up his former NPL teammate. Will get over the ridge and start peeking, realize, hey, the blues here, we're kind of safe, and Blown Apart doing a good job holding over the ridge. Fudge, or Edak doing a solid job. Blown Apart goes down as well. So Boom and Edak, the 1-2 combo from Noble, coming in here and picking up kills and getting themselves a couple points as they have to get themselves into the next circle. Yeah,
and actually we see a 4th team enter this here with Halakline picking up a steal on to Retaliate. Actually, just amazing that actually we've got the 3rd and 4th party coming out on this side of the map. Like I said, it was going to be congested. You can see a bit of space opening up now with Victor retreating back north, but Halakline solidifying their position in the power grid and picking up a free kill point.
Yeah, let's follow along with Elevate. It is a crowded area here in this southern part. 3 teams yet again. It's the Happy Campers, Shook, and Elevate. And Shook getting the worst of it right now, getting Shook down. Protege is already knocked. There goes VZ. It's just a mystery as Steezy Boy now taking some shots at CeeLo, not able to land them, seeing that VZ was downed, but someone else picked up the kill, and Steezy not able to take those shots there. Will shoot up the mountain, and Charity realizing, hey, now's not the time for goodwill. I will hide myself and stay safe over this ridge.
Yeah, a bit tense here. Some former teammates actually battling out here. So there's a bit of emotion involved in this team fight here. Obviously, the reinvent roster split in. Obviously, Grizzly and Steezy BB now playing for Elevate, but CeeLo from the previous reinvent roster. And actually, wow, look at this shift. It's gone all the way to the west side. So Victor now thanking his lucky stars, but he's not in the greatest position. But when you're a solo last up, that's the kind of shift you want to see.
Halakline trying to hold as well as I think we had our first team knocked out. Missed it on the kill feed, but yeah, 15 teams left, 48 alive with just a couple more seconds before we have that western shift take place, and a lot of action on the eastern side of the circle, and it does look like Comets are trying to send it.
Well, yeah, Comets actually going full send mode. They're going to run into VG, and they've also got Yellow Pike Gaming actually above them on the high ground overlooking San Martin. We're hopefully going to see... No, we're not. We're going to see...
Another car catastrophe with Matthew. Who would have guessed it?
We're hopefully going to see Matthew transition successfully in a vehicle this game. It didn't pay off, but VG now actually getting a knock up onto I Love Gwen Stacy up the top.
Yeah, the Yellow Pike Gaming boys like looking down, trying to get themselves some kills onto Comets, but now getting third-partied. Here comes... It does look like God Squad coming from the south side. VG doing a good job holding off Comets, and Comets in a very tough spot right now.
Are they going to try and get this res on Matthew? I think that Snowbird looks like he's going to try and get it.
No!
He's going to bleed. He's going to bleed. Come on.
Yes, he was able to pick him up. Snowbird, actually a Phoenix, picking up his teammate and reviving him at the last second.
Balls of steel there with Yellow Pike Gaming overlooking that as well. But, you know, great awareness there of when he was going to tick out. I expect Matthew was screaming that he was a safe res there.
That's right. Everyone was saying F for respects. Snowbird said F for respect.
There you go. There you go.
So good pickup there.
We're going to see God Squad as well, actually pushing up onto the Yellow Pike Gaming's high ground position. Just going to see if they're going to be able to take this team fight. Obviously, God Squad, no option but to push in here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here for God Squad. I guess moving on up, Yellow Pike Gaming has been a little bit split right here. One Hog currently down. Gwen Stacy was downed earlier. And, you know, I think if there's a squad that has been playing rotations good, it's been God Squad, but they haven't been necessarily winning these heads-up 4v4 battles. So here's a good one here. Tough situation for them because they're the ones sieging into the compound here.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're seeing God Squad make these, like, decisive moves. Obviously, Circle's moving in, but Blue's not on their back. I like the aggression they've taken this time in here. Obviously, you're going to see Mortify push up, nearly getting the down onto Gwen Stacy. Acro also held up in the building, but it looks like Danny and Lil Prodigy here are going to look to clear this building.
Danny G. Oh, I like that name. How about that? God Squad pushing on in. They got themselves a compound. Will turn the corner, and Danny G not able to hit the shots. Teammates are able to. Triggs goes down as well, and Mortify, the only one left alive, trying to get the kills, shooting from the hip, and that doesn't work out. God Squad goes down. Yellow Pike picking that one up.
Yeah, I mean, really good defense there from Yellow Pike Gaming. They baited them in, got them inside the compound, and then Yellow Pike just pounced. We're actually going to see Elevate transition towards the same spot if we can jump back to that, because it looks like Elevate are actually going to try and pick up these kills onto Yellow Pike Gaming.
Yeah, and Nate getting a grenade kill, Grizzly getting the grenade kill onto Nate. Gwen Stacy going down to the blue, so it's just Acro left alive. Steezy BB trying to find the shots with the Scar. Acro might have to decide, hey, this isn't for me. Ooh, will take damage, and yeah, does get picked up by Grizzly. That's Yellow Pike going out in 13th.
Yeah, and actually we saw Elevate make a huge foot push there, so great awareness from them coming into third party that fight at the compound.
And now on with Lego Your Ego, getting to fight with the Happy Campers. Happy that the Happy Campers had multiple members alive, but they no longer have 4. Now they just have 1 CeeLo, the next to fall. Able to get a nade down on Design Knight, but no trouble there. Lego Your Ego should be able to pick up their teammate. And only one left. It's just Charity left alive for the Happy Campers.
Unfortunate, again, for the Happy Campers. That's all I can say.
It's a theme.
It's a theme, unfortunately, for a team that, you know, we did have egged up to do pretty well here.
Sure.
If we skip back over to the west side, we're actually going to see a 3-way fight between Noble, Trifecta, and Loki. Loki with a huge 2-way split here with a 2-2. And actually, Noble defending their side. We still have Victor the solo down here. Actually, Noble should be able to pick him up here.
They should be able to. Yeah, maybe not. Victor's still in the blue. Boom goes down. Ripe Army does fall. Fudge able to pick that one up. But Noble took a lot of casualties there with the circle moving in as well. Fudge is going to be in some trouble. Here comes Low Key on the back of some vehicles to help out Figinaldo and Pax. They did a fantastic job cleaning up Trifecta, and they might just leave Soup and Fudge alone.
Yeah, I love this move from Loki here. They've identified, you know, there's two teams here on the edge. Fignaldo and Pax both pushing up on the edge to clear out one of them. And then Smithy and Chubb are actually moving into the circle to get themselves something to play. Yeah,
Halakline Gaming realizing, hey, there's some guys that we can shoot from our compound. We're on top. And look at Smithy with the long-range shot. Kaisuko sit down. He is down for whatever reason. Left the safety of a window or anything. Tried to go up the stairs, get a better vantage point. He got a great vantage point of a bullet to the face. He'll have to get revived there by Gunner in just a bit. This gives Fudge and Soup a little bit more more time. Fignaldo does go down, though, to Smithy, and so Soup's got to land these shots, and Fignaldo has been on fire, though. Big task here for Soup.
Yeah, Smithy getting a great knock on to Fudge here. Loki, if they've been keeping track of the scoreboard, they should know that Soup, yeah, there you go, should know that Soup is the last one up, and they do clear that up. Great play from Loki here. Like I said, that move, regrouping from the 2-2 split, helping the two players push up onto trifecta on the edge of the circle, and now look at them. Look how much space they've got on this map.
And you've talked about it before, calculated aggression. I like this one. This was like calculated passivity, and then deciding to go right on back in, pick up the kills. Low-key in a nice spot as we head back on over to the northeastern side. Finna fighting with Comets and Elevate as well. Elevate on that, fighting two fronts here. They have both Sonics to their south. Minifridge Jr. trying his best to hold them off. Oh, just kidding. I guess that was maybe not his best.
Wow, that's Loki from all the way on the other side of the circle, actually getting a knock onto Elevate. VG also getting a knock onto Comets. I want to see Comets try and pick one of these team fights here and get themselves a spot to play from, because right now it's not looking great.
No, it's really tough for all those teams in the Northeast, as the circle has now just popped and will be moving in 30 seconds. It is just more towards the center, and Lego Your Ego's the only team in there, but it does look like Sonics and everyone is shooting downwards right into him.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see already.
Nice shot by Sub-Zero.
You can see already Comets doing exactly as I wanted them to do, which was pick a fight and take it, because Circle's going to be moving in a sec. VG actually looking to get aggressive to clear the outside of their compound. Really well played from Fozu and Reno there to clear up Comets.
Yeah, a nice little play there by Fozu to jump up over the wall, give the information to Reno, and shoot through the crates. Like, small little hole there. Works out for VG, showing their prowess as a former NPL team as well. Mystery just kind of hanging tight. He is a solo here and just wants to get some extra points. We got to see it earlier from Comets last game. Woe did a good job, but there is a difference between 1 point from 7th and however many points. I think 5 points for 3rd that Woe was able to pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you can see on the mini-map here, Mystery really stuck in a bad spot. He's got all 3 members of Sonics right in front of him.
They don't know though.
They don't know. It doesn't look like they know.
There's a lot of action.
Wow, he could get flushed right here.
Ooh!
Mystery with some good trigger discipline. He doesn't want to give his position away.
No, he's getting shot. He's trying to pick one up.
Fignaldo from downtown, and actually he's going to get picked off by Fignaldo.
Oh, Fignaldo, that's multiple kills here for the low-key boys from long range. And again, it all goes back to the fact that they were willing to get aggressive and then realize, hey, this is good, let's not get overly greedy, and they rotate back around.
And actually, if you can see, on the map, if we pull it up real quick, Loki actually controlling pretty much 70% of the circle with all the other teams huddled onto the edge. We're going to see, obviously, Lego Your Ego pick up onto that kill onto Reno, but this fight is going to be pretty bloody on the south side of the circle.
Yeah, Lego Your Ego, the grenade team, about to pull them out and start throwing them towards Sonics, and we've seen some success here from these guys. Zydus Maradonas did a good job earlier with grenades. With this sniper rifle, though, will Zynite be able to pick someone off? It's only been low-key with these long-range shots, and Fignaldo yet again with another one. Fozu as well getting some action in there. The kill actually gets stolen away from Fignaldo. 3rd line with Lego Your Ego able to pick one up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sonics need to try and get some opening knocks there. Obviously, come next circle, they're not going to be in a great spot. And actually, you're going to see Fozu convert that kill onto Minifridge as well. That should leave us with a 1v1 on this side of the circle. I'm not entirely sure who we've got left. We've got Fozu and Grizzly, it looks like, on the far east side. This circle now is going to be make or break for Sonics. They need to be looking to make moves.
Yeah, they are. And oh, the circle yet again. I love how they're rewarding low-key from the proactive, smart play here. And I think even if it wasn't going towards them, they'd be in a good spot because they've been so proactive. As we see a push now, Halikline getting aggressive, or Loki getting aggressive towards Duck. Fignaldo doesn't have the jump, does get bopped in the head. Duck, no damage so far, but here comes Chubba Bub around the corner. He has shown, and Duck realizing he might be a sitting Duck if he doesn't have the rest of his team backing him up. He does have, and it will be a 4v4 here on the western side of the circle. Duck trying to get some shots off. Fignaldo able to step on over and pick up the kill. Kaisuko trying to counter back, but Fignaldo going way up, and that's 3 kills here for the low-key leader.
Absolutely insane transfer from Fignaldo there, picking down 3 men of Halikline. Would have expected a trade there. Unfortunately, Gunner, again, left in the same position as last game. He's going to be last up. He's going to be playing prone here and just hoping something else happens.
All right, time to shoot the feetsies, Gunner. Let's see what you got. And he gets a grenade to the face, Chubba Bubba. Realizing, hey, I think that there were 4. There were 4 indeed. And it's Halikline going down next to low-key, and they've been dominant all the while during that fantastic solo play. And and team play by Low-Key. Lego Your Ego taking care of Sonics in that 1v1 with VG and Elevate. Fozu able to win that one over Grizzly, and so they will continue to move on up. And if Fozu plays this one slowly, Tony V, the last one out, very far outside the circle and has a long way to go and multiple eyes on him. Fozu should be able to play this one safe. Tony V, though, taking some shots and going right back on in, taking more bullets, and it is yet another long-range kill by Low-Key. How many times can we talk about this team in one game?
I mean, they have played absolutely stellar this game. Great movement from them. You can see right now the control they have over the map. They're just swinging right from their side. They've cleared their edge. They're now right dead center. I don't think they have any idea Fozu's there. They're going to look to take this team fight with Lego Your Ego. Obviously, Lego Your Ego huddled back into this terrain. They haven't really got much play. And with the way Low-Key are playing, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah. Let's not cast or curse it. That's a real thing. You know, you'll learn along the way. You might have cast or cursed it because Fozu comes in and gets a first place. Yeah, that is a thing that might happen. And right now, I don't know if the teams realize that Fozu's in. Right? There are 3 teams, so they do know that there is one more somewhere. But I think it was really hard to keep track of that because the VG Elevate squads were all in that opposite side of the map of Low-Key and of Lego Your Ego. So we'll keep an eye on it as we get this 1v1 underway.
Yeah, Low-Key need to identify right now that they've seen 4 players down here. There's 9 alive. They need to identify there's a solo somewhere. So they should be aware of Fozu, not necessarily the position he's in, but his existence on the map.
Sure. All right, Pax, take an aggressive stand right here. Smithy will be doing a fatty flank, but here comes Maradonas and Zynite. He's actually going to run right into the duo of Lego Your Ego, and they will be giving away their position shortly. They do give it away as shots go towards Pax, so they didn't see Smithy on the semi-flank, and Smithy now just kind of holding back and forth right now. Will be throwing some nades from a decent angle, and Zynite might be in trouble. Maradonas goes down to Chubba Bubba, and Smithy continuing the rain of fire flame balls, also known as grenades. He will land one on Maradonas, and Low-Key, 13 kills already.
Yeah, what I really like here is Low-Key's decision to send Smithy out on this flank, but I also like Lego Your Ego's attempt at sending a 2-2 split and splitting that angle and trying to attack from 2 different fronts.
Looking at the minimap, I think third line shot at Fozu, but I don't think Low-Key recognized it, so Fozu's going to continue playing it.
Chubba Bubba is looking that direction, so he's obviously aware that there is a solo elsewhere now that they've picked up the 1 kill onto Lego Your Ego, but they're still going to focus down here because they're not going to expect the solo to make a play until they know they're in second.
Yeah, Figinaldo taking shots at Zynite's teammate already went down. Now Zytus going down to Smithy on the flankerino, and Figinaldo doing more of the same. Pax is actually going to get that knock. Just 1 left alive. It is third line. It is a 4v1v1, and Fozu has done a fantastic job working his way on up, but maybe no cast or curse today. It might be a back-to-back for Low-Key Esports.
Yeah, absolutely. Fozu thanking his lucky stars here. A free second place as Low-Key clear up the last remaining member of Lego Your Ego. Obviously, Fozu now needs to be in a position where he wants to go for a flush.
He realized, hey, I got my points here. Nothing going to happen. Not going to take down the team with 17 kills. Low-Key Esports. Hello, where was this last phase? Glad it's here right now. That was entertaining to watch. Figinaldo yet again leading the way with the guys. Multiple kills. Lego Your Ego doing a solid job as well. And Fozu, you know, getting himself the placement points. You like to see it, like what you've said over and over again. On your bad games, how do you do? Not a lot of kills there for Fozu, but able to get himself some points and sneak their way in there.
Absolutely. I mean, if you salvage games, ends up one of your players getting to second, it's a happy day. One thing I will say, obviously, Sonic's there, like we did call them out. They needed to make a move. I just don't feel like they were decisive that game. In the previous game, you saw them make that decisive move down to the compound. Here, they kind of just sat, and I don't know what the comms were like in that, but the decision making that went into that, they should have just, like we said before, pick a team fight and take it. They left it too long to sit on the edge of the circle.
It does seem like the games are getting a little bit more aggressive in the first circle because teams want to be proactive, but then once someone catches them out, it seems like they're starting to slow down just a little bit. That was game 3. Only 1 game left. It's gone by so quickly. It's been such a fantastic time with you. I've enjoyed it.
I'm having fun.
Well, that's what this should be. It should be fun, unless you're one of the players and playing for your way on up to the NPL. That's exactly what we're doing here with the NPLC. Game 4 coming right after this final break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NPL Contenders. Hello and welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, to the NPLC broadcast, Week 1, Phase 2, and we're almost done. Things went by so quickly. Low-key was just taking care of everything. It felt like we were still on Game 2. Let's take a look at the scoreboard after that round 3. 17 kills. That is massive here for a 16-man lobby. That is more than a fourth of everyone falling to a bullet of Low-Key Esports. Vicious Gaming, Fozu did a good job snaking his way on in there. Lego Your Ego, Sonics, Halakline Gaming, Elevate, Shook, and Comets finishing up the top half of that round 3 scoreboard. Everyone, I'm Degon, this is Hypoc, and we've been your pilots today for the NPLC, and it's been a pretty smooth sailing so far if you are a fan of Low-Key Esports.
I mean, just a fantastic showing from them in that game. I mean, they were super active. They were moving about, they were rotating well, and obviously choosing the right team fights. And as you saw throughout that game, they were getting knocked from 400 or 500 meters away on team fights that were happening elsewhere in the circle. And that awareness by Low-Key Esports is something that you see over and over again in NPL teams. So it's really great to see a team in Contenders playing this confidently and just taking hold of the circle.
Yeah, let's take a look how those rounds 2 and 3 for Low-Key Esports, those victories have turned into the overall standings. You can see it's a gap, it's a gulf here for Low-Key Esports at number 1, 31 kills, 54 points. Sonics, number 2. The big brain is still right here. Everything's good. No brain surgery needed. 33 points. Lego Your Ego, 28. They did a good job in that final third round. Almost at 23. Still living off of that first round burst here for our NPL Open squad. Yellow Pike Gaming, Vicious, Elevate, and Comics rounding out the top 8. And now we go back to Erangel. And I think part of what this success was, and the interesting part of an NPL broadcast, is that you have to be able to switch between 1, 2, 3, and then back to 4. And I think a team like Low-Key, we really didn't talk about them when we're on Erangel. They found the fights that they needed and got a lot of circle help in this last 2 games here on Miramar. Let's see how they do back on Erangel.
Yeah, I mean, their Miramar performance right now is absolutely night and day to what we saw in that first game of Erangel. I want to see them carry that momentum into this last Erangel game. I mean, it's an interesting one. Obviously, the meta is slightly different on the 2 maps, and Low-Key really actually showing how easy it can be if you make the right decisions, you're aggressive at the right times. That hold against Halakline, obviously Halakline set up really well to actually take that fight. Fignaldo just absolutely ripping them apart.
I would say yes, I agree, when you're proactive and making the right decisions, but those shots, I don't know about how many of you at home hit those shots, but holy moly, Fignaldo and everyone on that squad taking care of business. Now, okay, so we've got the Low-Key banner flying now. Who else has been catching your eye?
I mean, I still do want to give a shout out to Sonics. And like we've said before, if your bad games are getting top 5, happy days. I mean, obviously for a team like Low-Key, it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep this consistent. Obviously having 2 standout games. We've already said about, slacking slightly on Erangel, but Sonics, quietly still keeping in there. I mean, it's no shame to place with 1 kill in that last game and still have 19 kills and be sat in second.
Yeah, for me, it is the mixture of Almost and Yellow Pike Gaming. Almost, NPL Open squad, don't have a lot of information on them, don't know a lot about their antics. They've done a fantastic job, as well as Yellow Pike Gaming doing a great job finding their way in the middle of the pack here after, I think, a relatively forgettable Phase 1 NPLC run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, moving further down the board, obviously, we've already talked about Happy Campers. It's a shame to see them, only picking up 2 points in the first 3 games, but, some of these other teams you see, Zenith, we've seen them quite active. We've seen Trifecta be quite active. Yep. So, it's a shame to see them down as low because we like to see this aggression and these team fights rewarded, but, hopefully they can iron out the details in their play and pick things up. But God Squad, another one. It's sat in 10th right now. We've seen them be extremely active. I want to see some of their pushes pay off for them.
Yeah, and again, God Squad had that 4v4. We called it out. They needed to win some of these gunfights, and they haven't been able to yet. They've done a fantastic job getting themselves in position, but we need to see teams start capitalizing upon it. God Squad, one of those major teams to do so. Again, going right back to the island. They are the kings of the island. No one else wants any part of that as we wait to see where this circle pops. And it's not going to work out too well for God Squad. Way north we go. A good chunk of the ocean here as well. So Shook going to have one of the early good positionings here. They all find vehicles to hop on into. Shooting range and Severny will be a part of their plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I want to see from Shook, obviously, the previous Orangle circle, every single team except for Shook was in the circle. And actually, we're going to say, wow, okay, we're going to see Woe actually getting off to a really bad start here, getting run over by Mime. He's just going to be left to bleed out there in the open. Tanaka actually with the BM finished with the Mutant. Unfortunate to see, obviously, Comets having a rough time of things with their clutch Snake player going down as the first person in the first 2 minutes of the game. It's a shame to see, but quickly coming back to Shook.
Well, it is a shame. I don't know, we'll go back to Shook. It is a shame, but at least this vehicle mishap is not Matthew.
Absolutely,
That's a good start.
That's a good start, if anything, for Comets.
All right, back to Shook. Back to Shook. I'm sorry, I threw off your train.
Back to Shook, obviously. What I want to see them here is take advantage of these rare 70 circles where, you know, if you're dropping 70, it's not often you're going to get a circle as advantageous for this. They have free pick here on whatever compound they like. We do actually see Noble transition in North here. Yeah, VZ looks like he's going to give chase here, but...
Everyone doing the soccer mom right here for Noble. Anything goes wrong here would be bad, but it does look like VZ have no vehicles, just information. And so it does look like Boom and the boys will be heading towards either Yasnaya or Stahlbear. We'll figure out in just a bit.
Okay, VZ style points, we'll give it. He
Hardcore carport.
Landed back on all four wheels, but looks like we're going to see Protege and VZ take control of the crossroads, one of my favorite spots on the map, and obviously really good to pick up those rotation kills as teams try and transition north.
It does look like a lot of these teams, it will be Halakline, Noble, and Shook way, way north. If you look to the west, we do have the Happy Campers camping happy in North Georgia. Leguiego will be their southern angrier friends in just a bit after they get the couple of apps there and then rotate over to crates. And it does look like everyone else will be taking their time looting up before they get into the vehicles and start sending it after the first, I guess, once that first circle starts coming on in.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the teams to watch right now are all these teams outside the circle on the south side. Obviously this river that breaks up the middle of the map is usually pretty interesting. We get some strange kind of rotation fights break out, but obviously the ones to watch are obviously God Squad coming from the military circle, and we should see kind of Zenith try and transition straight north from Milta, but at the minute we've got VG still obviously looting down on the farm area of the map. They're going to have a pretty easy transition. You see they've got a lot of space to the north of them, up towards...
Potato.
Up towards Potato, and obviously elevate the next team in their path, which is all the way over at school. So I want to see VG make a good decision on rotations here and try and get towards the center.
I do think almost now, kind of in a weird position to move. They have head on over to the ruins and then to Sunken, and it does seem like they'll be stuck between Razak, where you have Trifecta. It does look like Elevate has decided to forego going to Razak or school, and then you will have a couple teams coming on in, so I think almost we'll have to figure out where they want to go first, trying to predict where this first conflict will happen on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing Zenith do exactly as I said. They're heading straight north out of Milton. And we've actually seen Elevate make a pretty smart move north as well, just to the west side of Yasnaya. They're going to look to take over that Alamo compound.
Oh.
As I mentioned them, Goku's knocking himself. Not sure if that's a vehicle mishap, but Zenith now, obviously, they're going to have some space to move up towards Elevate. They need to be aware if they've got a player down that Zenith are going to transition towards the volcano spot, which is just by this flat top. But I like the move from Zenith. They're moving early. We're at the 5-minute mark right now. So teams making these bold moves, they're looking to get a compound down where they can clean up the other teams moving in rotation late.
So Elevate going to hold the bridge. Trifecta has crossed over the river from Razak and now just kind of in that hilly space north of Razak. Relatively difficult there. The crate has been looted by Unique. So maybe we could take a look at Unique as we see Ross pretty good driving skills. It was a moving tree, not his fault.
Goku back on its feet though. Nice to see that one.
I wanted to see what happened. Unfortunately, he covered up his mistake pretty quickly. And the Zenith boys will be taking a peek here at the gas station and realize Elevate have cleared out, and they do have some information there. So they know that there are some bogeys to the northwest, and they got to assume that some people are in Yasnaya, and they would be correct with Noble in that area. Yeah,
absolutely. And Trifecta making a good move north of the river early. I want to see them take control of the 3-story if possible, and then these 2 crack houses that are located at the top of the hill here. But again, this compound, you know, it's in high demand for these first circles. You get a lot of knowledge, obviously, of the north side because there's a lot of open space, you know, beyond the gas station. And actually, we do see Zenith making this transition past Elevate at Alamo. They do have a 2-2 split right now with Mini Fridge over at the gas station. It looks like Zenith are actually going to move to the crack houses I was talking about. Goku actually managing to pick up a kill onto Honey Badger. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a knock. It was an explosion in the vehicle. So Actually, we're going to see Zenith transitioning straight towards Trifecta, so stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Roth taking fire from afar, vehicle down to about half HP, but he's not going to take any tags.
No, he's not, and Patron will be able to get himself to safety as well. And so the Zenith boys making that aggressive play, like you said, and almost being forced to pay for it. And they're going right by Shook right now. Leda might take some shots, and that's the last thing Zenith want right now. Yeah, I think when you first see a vehicle, you're like, is it worth giving away my position to possibly damage this vehicle? But all these cars have taken a lot of bullets right now, and Zenith going to think better of it, get out of them, and just slow down the pace just a bit.
I mean, there's one thing I do want to call Zenith out there. They were perfectly aware of it, where Elevate were. They spotted him at the gas station. I mean, the logical next move is to move to the gas station on the other side of the river and to hold Alamo. So making that transition across the bridge, I'm not so sure about that one, but they've still got 3 people up. They're in a decent position. Obviously, they're going to be looking for the next shrink. We do actually see way far out on the map, Ripe Army and Halakline getting into things way up.
Yeah, they
actually,
are.
Just off west of Stauber, yeah.
And Biznatch now, out of his vehicle, will be taking on one of the Halakline members by himself. And it is Zodiac just kind of stepping up out of nowhere. Retaliate does go down. Good prone position. Biznatch trying to do him dirty as well, and will be able to get him away. Yes, he will.
And actually, we see all of Halakline coming in to back up here. Actually, if we can switch straight back to that, because we had one player down on 1 HP. We have Gunner coming to back up Zodiac, who was 1 HP. Zodiac does confirm his kill onto Retaliate, but Duck now stuck on this tree behind his Dacia. Actually getting a really nice headshot onto Mr. Blown Apart here inside the building.
Yeah, good counter now. Biznatch trying to get his shots down on the Gunner, able to retaliate. All these guys doing a ton of damage, but no knocks quite yet. Biznatch will go into the house, heal up. Gunner trying to get some grenades inside the house. Blown Apart. Oh, don't mess that one up. Will be able to get a nade off, but takes a shot by Duck. 26 HP left for Blown Apart, but now Kaisuko looking from further away, trying to get shots and help his teammates. Victor has spotted him out. It's so interesting. It's 3 different battles here by the Ripe Army boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Kaisuko getting some good damage with a nade there. Victor sending one back. I'm not sure if that's going to connect onto Kaisuko. It looks like Kaisuko can actually reply with his own nade. So great nade for there from Kaisuko. I want to see Biznatch try and get an opening knock here to stop Halakline getting up onto his building. Gunner unfortunately knocked down onto that UAZ. Kaisuko making a bizarre move here with the UAZ. I'm not sure why he's transitioning this way. Maybe they just
joined his teammate.
Yeah, Gunner actually getting stolen with fast, so they're not going to go for that res. Duck's still out on this tree actually, and Mr. Blown Apart is in a rough spot.
Yeah, Kaisuko with a big rotation to join his teammate. Duck still stuck behind the same tree. No movement from him there, while Blown Apart and Biznatch have been able to be mobile the whole time. And so Halakline now in a little bit of trouble. Victor, he did go down to that original grenade. He will fall and die. Fozu picking up yet another kill. And now Biznatch trying to get something going here for Ripe Army. They've lost 2, no kills, knock stolen away. And the Halakline Gaming boys, nice rotation by them to keep things safe and sound.
Yeah, I do want to see Halakline be a bit more decisive here. This team fight is dragging out. You can see on the minimap that, Zenith are now getting involved. Obviously, VP from afar getting involved as well. But, Ripe Army making a good stand here to hold this compound. We do actually see as we can see, the circle has actually shifted back. Biznatch getting a nice knock onto Zodiac here. Again, Halakline just taking way too long with his push.
Yeah, and I think this is Ripe Army's to salvage, and it is Halakline's to lose. As you said, lots of teams starting to come on in, but now VG getting caught out by Loki. Loki coming on in from the far side, and so Ripe Army and Halakline will have a chance to wait, but Loki, you can see him right there, getting a big rotation. If Pax realizes there's some smokes on the top of this hill, Loki could change focus in third party. It doesn't look like Pax will see it. He will join the rest of his team, and you can see him in vehicles coming in the north, I guess on the, I was going to say northeast part of your screen, on the top right part of your screen. And here's Chubba Bubba. Maybe they have caught it out, and it does look like they've rotated just a bit to position themselves nicely. Oh, hey, can you pick me up? No, yeah, no. All right, we're going to fight. Okay. Comms, right? That sounds accurate.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate as to what's going on. But, I mean, if Loki have identified this, I'll be really, really impressed if they decide to push up and clean up these 2 fights. Again, we saw them do this really decisively. And actually, yeah, you see Chubba Bubba looking over here. He sees the smokes. They're going to know that the team is trying to push this compound, doesn't land any shots onto Duck. But these 2 Halakline players by the tree need to get something down. Biznatch getting another knock onto Duck. Things just falling apart here for Halakline.
And Biznatch able to get Kaisuko as well. Nice play there by the Ripe Army boys to get some points on the board. and it is a 2v2 now. It started off as a 4v2, and Biznatch going on in, picking up the kills, and Halakline Gaming, what looked to be a promising start, falling first here. And as you said, the indecisive nature of this team fight was their downfall.
Absolutely. I mean, right behind me, making a great stand there. Actually, wow, Fignaldo actually still looking up at this compound, gets a lovely headshot with the M24. Biznatch, obviously, he's going to get rezzed. Unless Loki have kept track of this kill feed and they know that, there's only one up now, that we've got the one knock, but it looks like they're just going to sit and chill. Great shot again from Fignaldo, looking for these knocks from afar.
Yeah, there it is, the VG boys as well. We're looking to pick some off and weren't quite able to. Now, getting sieged upon, or getting encroached upon by the Noble boys. I don't think they know that each other are there quite yet. It does look like Reno is just kind of scouting out the area. A vehicle by Noble is rotating towards that direction. Don't think we hear anything quite yet, but EDAC, Soup, and all the rest of the Noble boys have a great position here on both VG. But no, they're being distracted right now by Loki. So Victorious Gaming have an opportunity to the third party this while being the team sandwich. This would be a very unique situation here for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, we did just see a glimpse of the map there. Obviously, this shrink benefiting Shook again. They've managed to take the Junkyard Alamo, which is a great spot on the map. But if we're going to dip back over to this VG fight up with Noble, you can see a couple of teams on your screen right now. Elevate transitioning in from their Alamo and gas station split, but Shook now taking the God spot in the circle. I want to see them spread out a bit, make sure they're holding down the terrain around them.
Yeah, and it does look like VG will be flanking onto Noble. Noble has realized this, and so Aimbot leading the way with Finna. Finna actually playing point right now. And there is a vehicle in play for Noble, and it seems like they're continually just baiting them out and having them come further and further, and they're very close to each other. It's just right over the ridge. EDAC peeks his head. He might catch himself a bullet from Aimbot.
Yeah, absolutely. Finn is actually in a great spot here. He needs the back line of VG to obviously initiate this fight so that Noble peek over and Finn can get himself a free knock. You're going to see him actually retreat a little bit. It looks like they don't fancy the angles here, but Fozu actually going on a huge flank up on the high ground here. He's going to run into Boom soon enough. I'm wondering if he can get this opening pick and force the issue for VG.
Yeah, here we go. Fozu on top of the hill has, I think, a quick vision of EDAC, but doesn't realize Soup's right there. Now starting to take damage. Down he goes. Boom, catching him out first. And so Fozu, the flanker, falls early. Not dead yet, but it does look like the rest of VG said, yeah, you know what, we're going uphill against him. Sorry, Fozu.
But actually, yeah, we're going to see VG take a full reset here. The right decision, obviously, being caught off guard. Sonic's now actually also rotating into the same part of the circle. I'm not sure if they've heard this fight breaking out, but it looks like they're going to try and take control of the dirt road. And actually, this spot of the map, really interesting to see some team fights because all it is like sloping terrain and these trees. Noble need to identify the, VG are backing off and they need to move to a safer spot because, if we look at the mini-map, they're not in the greatest position.
No, they're not. And I think it's a cheeky play here by Sonics. They have taken a little bit of damage, so they've been in a bit of action earlier. Fudge going to start making sure that area exactly where Sonics are is clear, and he's going to run into some action right there. Let's follow along with Loki. Now Loki going back and forth with Lego Your Ego. This is your #1 team right now. Lego Your Ego ranking as well. Pax moving itself to the passenger. What a shot by Pax, and Loki Esports yet again with these insane plays find all 4 members of Lego Your Ego, and none of them will fall in this one.
There is no worse way to die than when you get sweet seat swap in a vehicle like that. Pax, balls of steel to pull that one off, but great defense from Loki there. They had 2 knocked, and obviously Pax saying, look, we've got to send here. I'm not sure if that was actually Chuba or Pax that made the seat swap there in the vehicle, but great cleanup there to identify that there were 2 players rezzing on the outside of the wall.
Holy moly. You know what? I hope it's Pax so that when we cut this highlight, I got the name right.
Yep.
If it was you, Chuba, my bad. First cast, forgive me. I'm sure we're going to be calling your name a ton.
Yeah, as we pan back over to, I'm not sure where Wooly got knocked from. Maybe it was from Noble. I missed that during that team fight. But Sonics now, obviously, Tickleton a bit further inside the circle. They want to get themselves some terrain to play. VG actually re-initiating this fight with Noble as Noble try and force their way into the circle.
Yeah, I like the way that VG were able to bail out. I think it caused Noble to think, hey, we won this fight. We're safe here on this southern ridge. We can focus more back on the east and Sonics. And now they're going back on in, and now they have the circle position. They don't have the height, but with the pressure of the blue zone coming on in, it's going to force Noble into an unfavorable position.
Yeah, we're actually going to see Finna take the initiative to move back up here. He's going to look for the M24 shot. Doesn't hit it, unfortunately. I'm not sure how he's managing to move him, but...
It's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. We do see Noble here pushing towards... Obviously, we've got Finna way out on the west side of this team fight. Reno and Aimbot now looks like they're actually going to get pushed up upon. I'm wondering if Aimbot's even aware of how close Noble are.
Aimbot's hacking. He's bandaging and playing. And oh no! All the while, Sonics move on into Loki. And it is the lowest placement for Loki so far. Maybe it is the air angle bug for Loki going out in 13th place. Here we go, Vicious Gaming now getting caught out by the Noble Boys. Reno able to answer back, so it does seem to be a 1-for-1 so far. It is a 2 versus 3 left though.
Yeah, absolutely. And Noble, you know, they pushed up in the correct position. They took out the flanker on that side for VG's team. I want to see Noble try and reset it. Soup actually hitting a nice nade there. 60 damage onto Reno. He's going to have to fall back. And actually, they're going to give up the high ground here to Noble. So I want to see Noble get aggressive here and stop them before they get back to the compound.
Yeah, Finna trying to get himself on in, walking right past the guard tower and able to head on into the sheds where the hidden UAZ is. They'll be able to get themselves out to safety.
Peek. I want Noble to peek over.
Yeah, but you can see them. They're just playing the circle, and that seems to be from NPL. That's the Noble play. It's hey, here's the circle. Let's follow along the circumference of it.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to swap another team out like that, a God Squad in that position, we're going to see them make the push there. As we can see, actually, Keenan landed some nice shots over onto the Happy Campers here. Dune and Charity, the last 2 remaining players, up on the Happy Campers right now. Actually, I think we're going to see Sonics look to capitalize on this.
Yeah,
actually, Tony V getting a knock with the nade there.
Woolie's gone all the way around, still trying to figure out where Charity is. And he donates the kill on over. Happy Campers, again, it's the same story right here. 12th place, no points for him.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see again. As we dip over, actually, we've got a fight kicking off up here at the hangar. We've got Yellow Pike Gaming sieging onto Trifecta. And it looks like we've got one of Yellow Pike down. We've got Gwen Stacy getting rezzed by One Hog right now. And actually Spray manages to get his first aid kit off there. Unique just holding the angle on the door right now. One Hog, you can see crossing back over. Oh!
One Hog able to get himself out of safety. The peeking there by Unique has now given away his position. Acro able to win the 1v1 against Spray. So it is a 1v3. Currently Unique continuing the peeking. You know he's damaged someone on the left side. And I'm sure Spray is saying, yeah, I hit him a couple of times on the right side. But, nice.
Underhand nade could be lovely here.
And it does land. There it is. One Hog does go down. Good headshot there by Unique. What a peek there. What does Gwen Stacy do? No health. You want to run in there, but he has no idea how low Gwen Stacy is. One Hog probably getting revived right now. Oh, there's the peek. Shoots him in the booty. Down he goes. What a great play there by Unique. Winning, though, 2v3 matchup here. He'll be able to get Spray up, and Trifecta getting closer and closer to some placement points.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this position in the circle now, great for Trifecta. Shame they've only got 2 up, but great hold from Unique there. He's also going to get a res onto Spray, so, you know, that's a massive win for Trifecta.
Yeah, good there by Trifecta. They've got the compound now in the circle. Big win there, and unfortunate for Yellow Pike Gaming, they weren't able to turn that one around. Just uncoordinated peaks, not quite talking about it all at the same time, and good pickups there by both Unique and Spray. All right, finally, we can, I think, finally slow things down here, Hypoc. It's been back and forth action for the last 5 minutes. Noble, Low-Key, Sonics, the Happy Campers, and now it does look like Sonics are walking right on in. God Squad now taking shots at Comets. And what's happening right here, right now?
I mean, Comet's just getting caught. They just got shot in the back. 2 free knocks there for God Squad. Danny looks like he's going to try and push up and confirm his kill onto Sub-Zero. I'm not sure if Matthew's got any cover over there. It looks like he's playing a bit further west. But actually, he's got Elevate right north of him playing on the shack. So I'm not sure if Matthew's got much to do here. Another unfortunate exit for Comets incoming, I think.
He does take some shots and alerts himself to Grizzly, and now taking damage. It's just a matter of time here for Matthew and Comets, while Elevate and God Squad in a bit of trouble. Yep, there it is. Trig's able to pick this one up. We're fun along with Ripe Army now, and they're holding off Sonics on the top side of the map, and here we go. The entry has been started. Keenan throwing in a nade, and now they're wrapping around inside the house.
And actually, yeah, we're going to see if Ripe Army can make a second defense on this compound. Sonic's looking way more decisive than Halakline earlier. Biznet's actually opting to go outside. He is going to get a free knock there onto Wooly. But the trade is there. Wooly does get confirmed, and actually Sonic's cleaning that kill up immediately. Great trade there from Tiggleton. Mr. Blown Apart, last player up here for Ripe Army. Not much to do here. If he can get another free kill, it's going to be a win for him. But Tony V throwing the nade in, knocks him down 70 HP.
Yeah,
down to 30 HP, sorry. It looks like Sonic's going to clean this one up.
Yeah, smoking's bad, kids. You can't see anything through any of that right now. Blown Apart trying to work his way through it, but he has his position given away. Tony V taking some shots, not going to connect, but a 1v3 in the northern part of the map. Let's follow along, back along with God Squad now fighting Elevate. Elevate, multiple men, one shack. It's a tough position to be in if you're Elevate as God Squad going on in. And there it is. That's the kill confirmed. Ripe Army will be going down to Sonics, and they now have control of the top side of the map. Circle moving on in. It will head to the southwestern side, so all of Shook still safe inside the circle. Following along with this action, though, Noble still falling along the outside of the zone. Might be able to third party here with God Squad and Elevate.
Yeah, absolutely. God Squad aren't actually in a position to move up on Elevate here. They're just looking for an opening knock, but all of this is giving Noble time to wrap on the hard edge here. You can see them actually proning all the way
snakes!
in. They can hear these shots. They want to push up on this, but they don't want to get caught out. God Squad actually going to swing back to their side of the circle.
If they move, maybe their guns like wiggle a little bit in the ground. Let's see how quickly Triggs is able to pull this one out. Boom, taking the shots, able to connect with a couple, but now the position is given away. Mortified now joining on in. Down he goes, and both members of Noble not able to get any other points. And God Squad just, I don't know how they were able to get away with that one. Stay alive and find themselves still 4 strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Noble needed to move a bit quicker there. They didn't have a play into the circle. They should be looking to take a team fight, as we've discussed before. We do see VG now sending it right through the center of the circle. He's right, exactly right next to Tiggleton. Tiggleton seat swaps him. Tiggleton seat swaps him out of the vehicle.
Oh,
wow.
What a play by Tiggleton, and now Vicious Gaming gets knocked out. Whatever reason, Tiggleton's bold moves rewarded because Trifecta don't focus down on him. Now it turns it into a pincer because Keenan's on the other side of this compound. Trifecta, Spray, and Unique need to figure out where they're focusing, and I don't think they know that Keenan's here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sonic's already up to 10 kills here with 15 players alive still. Actually, looks like he's going to get the knock onto Unique. Spray down to 1 HP. Tiggleton pushing up to try and help here now.
Yeah.
Great awareness from Sonics there, pushing up, cleaning out Trifecta. They have so much space in this circle now, and that position we talked about earlier that's going to be absolutely deadly in the late game.
Yeah, well, great aggressive play by Sonics. This is their map. This is your team here, the team to watch. As now Elevate getting shot down. Oh, actually by their teammate. Hey, you know, Damien, you can't be running over your teammates like that. Down goes Steezy. He'll be picked up in just a second. But right now, a lot of guys hanging out in shacks other than Shook. Shook is sitting pretty right now.
I mean, Shook made this transition early. They've been quiet. I'm not sure if they've managed to pick up any kills yet, but we did say we wanted to see them capitalize on this 70 circle, and they are still alive. As I'm saying that, Keenan getting a shot from downtown with the Orm, knocking Mystery. But yeah, Shook have just been way too quiet in here. They are going to pick up the kill onto Triggs. Probably going to get the res off of Mystery. He's not out in the open, so, you know, going to maintain 4 alive here. It's going to be interesting to see this next circle. Tiggleton now looking to focus Zenith, those other 2 players up in the shack, but it's pretty much just going to be open terrain with these 2 teams, Shook and Sonics, battling out in the end, I think.
So breaking down this terrain, it's all uphill if you head to the northwestern side. Sonics, again, just getting lucky with the terrain and the circle. Let's see how it goes, and it's, again, kind of good for Sonics, a small way to go. No team really has a long way to go, but there just isn't any cover for a lot of these teams. It's going to be a lot of uphill battles.
Yeah, absolutely. And this shack in the middle of the map, I'm pretty sure this is the wooden one, so it's not really a viable option for the teams to send it to that. It does, yeah, if we zoom in, we do confirm that is the wooden one, but you can see there's a slight ridge around there, but it is nade range for Tiggleton. It's pretty much a death sentence for Shook here. They've got 4 alive, but I don't know if they're going to be able to make a play off this.
Yeah, it's going to be based off of your gunfire here. Let's see. Oh, they are getting in their vehicles, so it might be a send it type call. I'm interested to see where they're going to decide to do that too. 10 seconds left before it's decision time. It's the awakening.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the worst time you want to be sending people in because you've got 3 teams that are going to be focusing you. You're going to be the only team in this circle moving. What I want to see is Shook leave 1 player back, maybe a bolt action or a DMR player, to try and play anchor and support these players transitioning into the circle. I don't know if they're going to be able to make anything of this.
Tony is moving his way to the crate. Crate still hasn't been opened yet. And here he goes. Shook, their move is to Zenith and their small hut on the outside. Leda stops and just going to use the vehicle for cover. Zenith goes down. Kendo is already knocked. Now it's Patron all up to him. He's going to decide to get aggressive? Maybe. He's running out of time because the circle is moving on in, and now it's on his back. Down he goes, one side, the other. Hesitation not happening there for Zenith Esports. They'll fall in fourth. Good points there for the squad, but not exactly where they wanted to be. Now we've got the 3 members of Elevate to the southwest. On the eastern side, it's Shook, and then Sonics up top fires. Shots being fired right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Really impressive for Shook to make their way into the circle. The best scenario there was for Zenith to die. Elevate now huddled on the edge, just behind a couple of burning cars and next to a tree. But Sonics now, they need to identify which team is the easier one to wipe and do that decisively before the next circle pops, and they're going to be forced to move.
So Tony, repositioning the vehicle in the smoke, just figuring out, hey, do I join my teammates? We're going to wait for this circle to pop. Good time for a smoke to keep that vehicle safe. Circle coming on in, and just still right in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great shift for Sonics there. They haven't got to move. Obviously, Elevate have the furthest to move. I think Shook are going to be able to find some terrain to play at the edge, but we're going to need to hope that Elevate makes some moves here and get an opening knock. Keenan already pressuring Elevate back.
And again, we touched on it earlier. Everyone else has to go uphill right now. Like Sonics just have the ridge, they have the circle, they've got a couple of pieces of terrain to use. They've got one shack. It's looking really nice right now for the boys in light teal, I'll call it.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Tony V, you can see him. He's keeping an eye on both teams here. He's playing around the smoke. He has one more smoke left and 2 nades. Ooh. He does actually spot VZ on the edge of the circle there. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get the knock eventually, but Elevate making this wrap along the bottom of the hill, looking like Shook and Elevate are going to fight on the south side. Sonics may lose out here on a couple of kill points, but if they can third-party this fight, it's going to pay off for them.
Yeah, you can see how deep that ridge is. Great job here by our observing crew. Brian, shout-outs. You've done a fantastic job. Here we go. Shook, Elevate, going 4v3 in just a second because they're sneaky snaking it slowly but surely.
Shooting very early, actually. Grizzly deciding to take that before it was a free knock. And actually, Tickleton going to pick off Steezy from afar. And actually, now this is going to fall apart for Elevate. Mini Fridge getting knocked as well. Sonic's pouncing at the right time. VZ does actually get the steal back onto Mini Fridge, and it looks like Grizzly's going to be the last up for Elevate here.
And Grizzly has a little ways to go to catch up to the rest of his teammates. And unfortunately for him, Leda and VZ facing him right now. Shots being shot by Protege and the rest of Shook downhill towards Grizzly. If Shook can get this, as they do, Elevate finishing in third place, solid 5 points there for them. This is a 4v3 battle. It's an opportunity to knock off Sonics as the top of Erangel.
Yeah, absolutely. We already see this last circle post. Sonics now, again, in a better position, but actually VZ and Later making a really good work actually to get up as close to the center as possible. Tiggleton landed some nice shots there down to a Shook player. Tony V with an opening knock with the Orm, so down to a 3v3 now.
Yeah, do you get Leda up right now? There is a couple of smokes down on him. VZ working his way over. The ridge is real. You can see how nice that ridge is. A vehicle play, possibly. Protege moves it, but doesn't fully use it. Tony stepping up, picking up a couple of nades, and able to pick up one more. He'll throw some in just a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see Sonics be decisive here. They do actually manage to get the res onto Later, but look how far Sonics have been allowed to move up just because of that one opening knock. Keenan's going to get a great angle here on the right side. I'm not sure if VZ saw him there. It looks like he did. He is picking back. Keenan with the opening knock. Later's going to look to trade this right now, but Keenan holding the same angle.
Leda, the scope was blocking his vision, so Leda able to get the knock there. Tickleton trying to shoot through the smoke. Down he goes, and Tony V now helping out his buddy. Mystery going 1v1, and it is Shook finally showing up. Sonics have been knocked off their perch in Erangel, and it was patient play by Shook. They're able to hold their water when they needed to, and they get themselves a 10-kill victory on top of the scoreboards, but no knock there against Sonics. As you said, multiple kills going into what wasn't even close to the final circle. Let's see, 6-5, good caster math. It's 13 kills there for Sonics, plus the second place, but congratulations to Shook, making their presence felt here in that final game.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually called them out a couple of times. I said that it was going to be a death sentence for them when that circle shifted north. They played it really well. They were quiet through a lot of the mid game. They weren't picking up kills, but they transitioned at the right times, took hold of that junkyard Alamo, and actually, they played that team fight really, even though it was a 4v3 in their advantage, they played it perfectly.
Oh, yeah, they did. And I think, again, it just seems so interesting how much the circle was helping Sonics and the terrain, the uphill battle. And as you said, was it too passive? It allowed the rest of Sonics to move on in the one squad versus one squad. But again, shots rang true. Unfortunately there, the scope was in the way, so Leda was able to get his trade off, and then it just 1v1 with Mystery able to come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, credit where credit's due. Tony V getting some great opening knocks there with the Orm. I like the fact that as soon as they got that knock, Sonics looked to push and be aggressive, but actually Shook taking it slow, resetting, getting that res up on later was actually huge, even though he ended up going down to the flank. Actually, it was VZ, apologies. VZ went down to that flank from Keenan, but actually later was straight away back in position to work that trade. So really great work from Shook.
All right, so that was game 4. We are done here, but not yet. We've got to see the final scores. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have those final scores for you and close out the day. You're watching the NPLC broadcast. All right, round 4 in the books. Shook taking the victory, playing the patient game. Although the Circle and all the Circle gods wanting Sonics to win uphill with terrain, they're able to hold their water till the end and take care of the business. Finding themselves 10 kills in first place. Sonics in second, 19 points. Not too bad, a second place finish there. Elevate sneaking their way into third with only 2 kills. Zenith fourth, God Squad fifth, Trifecta, Vicious, and Noble rounding out the top half of the spots there. Thoughts on that final game?
I mean, it was great to see Shook actually end up closing that one out. One of the key things, obviously, for me is they played a very slow mid-game, but you know, they got forward to a game-winning position. They held down the Junkyard Alamo. And actually, that fight uphill is not an easy fight to take. Like I said, the best thing for them to happen was Zenith dying when they did.
Yep.
Allowed them to regroup. The use of utility actually to get to that small ridge underneath the wooden shack, which I called out as a bad position, actually ended up paying off for them. Yeah.
So good stuff there by both those squads. Let's take a look at the overall standings as we finished day 1 of the NPLC. Loki Esports still holding on to top spot even though they didn't finish in the points in that final Erangel games. I'm sure they'll go back to the drawing board and figure out how they can replicate their Miramar onto Erangel. Second place Sonics, I'm sure they're going to go back to the board to figure out how to replicate their Erangel onto Miramar. 52 points. Lego Your Ego, Shook, Almost, Elevate, and God Squad on the top half. But you could just see right there a massive gulf between those top 2 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw 2 teams tonight have good Erangel games, and then another team have really good Miramar games. So actually to see it end up like that isn't too much of a surprise, but it's definitely a much bigger gap than I would expect to see after just a 4-game series.
Yeah, I love the fact that we got to see a lot of these NPL open teams now come into contenders and have a statement, a couple of statements there, right? I think 3 or 4 of them did a fantastic job saying we got to watch a lot of Ripe Army, and I think they're going to have a lot of footage to go back to and retool and figure out, hey, how could we have done this better? But I think they made a lot of proactive plays, and you speak about that all the time, proactivity against passivity.
Yeah, absolutely. And God Squad, another one that we saw them with glimmers of hope almost. Yeah. They looked really good when they were being aggressive. Unfortunately, it didn't pay out in a couple of situations, but Ripe Army, rightfully so, making 2 really good stands on that compound at the top of the hill there. And even when Sonics pushed them, managing to get that first kill in the insta-flush, even though it was immediately traded out, you know, that's a win for them. Being 2 up and taking 1 kill point off another team, you're still going to go out in the same position.
Yeah, they are. And that closes out the final day. The storyline has been set after day 1. Top 2 teams taking the runaway. That's going to be all from us here in Las Vegas. For myself, for Hypoc, and everyone on the broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of us, make sure to watch us for pregame loot before the action on the NPL Saturday. Take care, guys.